I personally have never been around a faker group of tough guys than MMA fighters. I couldn't believe they asked me, why did you rob these banks? For the money.
Any blue-collar man is a tough guy.
Any blue-collar man's a tough guy.
I mean, truly.
Yes.
Did you really tap with Anderson?
Professional athletes are babies. Fighters are babies.
They should be
live
embarrassed.
a child's game. They get paid millions of dollars, and they're babies.
They should be embarrassed to say
you.
this is what I do.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you are exposing the bullshit behind this guy.
Sure. I'd be embarrassed if all I did is train and eat and sleep. Go do something. Get out there and contribute to the world. Like, those guys should not be proud of that fact. And then, 3 times a year we beat up another guy in a cage. So she's in the tree. She's doing one of these, and she's got all 3, the ambulance, the fire truck, and the police behind her.
Is there anything a story that you could tell us about Chael that'll make the hairs on the back of our neck stand up? How you guys doing? Mr. Chael Sonnen?
How am I doing?
How you doing?
I'm famous and rich. What do you mean, how am I doing? Like, how's my day going? It's wonderful like every other day.
How was the flight in?
Oh, the flight. The flight was good. A lot of other famous and rich people on there, which is, I don't like to be around other people that could be worth more than me, but it was nice. I mean, overall, it was a nice flight. My hot ass wife came, which was good.
Hello, Brittany.
Hello.
Stopped me from getting hit on in first class. Just let them know.
Oh, God.
Take
I
him.
would love if that actually happened.
Oh, that happened.
How often does he get hit on?
Tell him.
Me get hit on? Oh, God.
Come on. You can tell him. Regularly.
Yeah.
Regularly, like where?
Regularly.
At Chuck E. Cheese or where?
I was going to say by men or by women.
That only happened once.
Did it really?
Yes. But if a gay man hits on you, it's because he assumes you're gay. And I don't know what I was giving off.
The vibes you're putting off. That's a compliment.
It is a compliment. It is a compliment, but he thought that I was gay.
I'm curious what you were wearing.
Probably this.
Yeah, probably something close to this.
Is the cowboy boots?
Looking big and
Now, I dress this man. If I don't put socks and underwear out, he won't wear socks and underwear.
He'll just wear jeans commando, huh?
That's in protest. I'm protest. She's supposed to put my clothes out. So when she doesn't, in protest, I will go without socks and underwear. I'll come home with blisters on my feet as a way of showing her that she should have set the socks out.
Well, I was going to start with the question for you, but I'm going to go to Brittany instead. So how does it feel being married to one of the most infamous MMA trash talkers in the world?
Not only MMA trash talkers
in general.
I mean,
it's exhausting. But I love it. I mean, I'm so used to it.
Everything's a podcast, she tells me. She tells me,
everything is a podcast. I can get him so pissed off. If he'll come home and he's just got to get a story out. And he'll go, do you want to know what happened? No.
Are you serious?
I'll just say no.
Yeah. That
oh my God. Fumes.
So what does he do then?
Fumes.
Just goes on Instagram and.
No, he'll just wait and then he'll come back, circle back around in the kitchen. Do you want to know what happened? No. I still don't want to know what happened.
Are you ready?
Oh,
Are you
he'll
ready
go
to hear this yet?
insane. Yeah.
Well, you have to talk.
And
you
then
have to tell somebody.
Anyways.
Yeah, that's true. And I work a lot from home, so she'll hear the podcast or she'll see me mouthing into a mirror or practicing, and so then when it's time to sit down for dinner, she's like, "This is not a podcast. You don't have to go for 10 straight minutes. You can take a breath."
Oh, the kids when they were very little, or like car seats in the back of the car, he speaks so loud, and I mean, I go, "Honey, Daddy's not yelling at me." Like he's just got so much emotion, and so it's just like, oh my God.
How long have you guys been married?
12 years.
13.
No, it's 12, but whatever at this point.
We met in 2011.
Yes, we went in. Yeah. I
January
was 21
2011.
and he plucked me from the streets.
But I told her that day I'm going to marry you.
Yeah, you did.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Did you do the same thing?
Yeah. Well, on the third date, I told my wife. After the first date, I told my brother and his wife, I'm going to marry this girl.
That's awesome.
And on the third date, I told her, I said, I'm going to marry you, and this is where we're going to get married. And that's exactly what happened.
What did she say?
She kicked him in the groin.
Okay.
Well, we have 2 kids now, so I think she said yeah.
Well, I knew eventually she got to yes. When I told my wife I'm going to marry you on our first date, she said, that's a really creepy thing to say to somebody on your first date.
It's the weirdest.
So,
you said on the first date.
It took a little warming up. Yeah, I pointed at her. I said, I'm going to marry you.
Actually, she was receptive to it on the third date.
Your wife was receptive.
Yeah, my wife was receptive on the third date. Because I thought when I show her, because we didn't have a traditional Armenian wedding. We did it back then, 10 years ago, destination weddings weren't as common, and we got married at a ranch in Palm Springs.
Very cool.
So
That's
no
still
church.
fancy.
We had like one of the Armenian pastors come there and marry us from Burbank, which is again not a common thing. Usually Armenians would get married in church. So I thought maybe she's gonna be like, I really need a church and this, but she was cool with it, and I was surprised a little bit, but I took it.
That's good. Yeah. It's almost a test to some degree to make sure she wants to marry you and not just have the wedding. We eloped for that. That was the final test we had as well.
But see, I was not famous and rich like you were at the time.
Okay.
I still am not famous or rich, but
sure. So I don't know if I was at the time. I was on probation at the time.
Yeah.
I couldn't leave that.
Here we go.
Hold on, you were on probation?
It's time to meet the parents. And the parents, we have a bridge that separates Oregon from Washington, but there's still two different states. So even though she's only 20 minutes away from me, she's in a different state. So when it's time to meet the parents, they line up a reservation for a lunch in the state of Washington on a Saturday. But I can't get around if I don't have written permission, and the office closes at 5 o'clock on Friday. So I have to explain that they need to come to this side of the bridge. And I finally explained to her, and I know like this conversation's coming sooner or later. So I told her I used to rob banks and I'm on probation. So she doesn't know what that word means, calls her father in front of me and says, you got to come to Oregon. He's on probation. And
you didn't know what probation.
No, but says it just like that. Like it's just a matter of fact, he is allergic to cheese.
Okay, I'm curious
probation.
what your father's reaction was when you told him he's on probation.
Well, I come from a family of a little bit of roughnecks. Like, it wasn't.
I remember his exact words. Do you not?
No, what was it?
He said, cool. What did he do?
Oh, God. I don't know if that's good to share, by the way.
But that's the way the story happened.
God. Yeah, that is the way the story happened.
And it took a lot of pressure off me, by the way. I must tell you.
What were you on probation for?
I was robbing banks. And I've never really
can't be serious.
been given my credit. For example, Robin Hood stole from the rich and gave to the poor. I stole from the rich and then I kept it. And I'm not saying I'm a hero, but it's half heroic. And you don't see them like resurrecting statues in my likeness and putting me on covers of comic books. Instead, they put me on probation. And I've forgiven them. I've forgiven them over time. But the Federal Bureau of Investigation does not have the greatest sense of humor.
But you're not physically robbing the bank.
No.
Like, you wouldn't hold them up and...
I robbed them without even setting foot in them. This is brilliant stuff. This is very high IQ stuff.
Take notes, guys, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't do
Never
dirty
even set
crimes.
foot.
We do intelligent crimes.
No, we don't kill sheep. We kill wolves. But they had it coming.
Follow what Chael does and you'll go into probation just like he did. And you'll be as successful as he is.
Yeah. Had to have permission.
This is terrible advice. This is terrible advice. But hold on. You were doing real estate prior to becoming a martial artist.
Yes.
Or you were practicing simultaneously.
Yeah.
So is this connected to something in real estate?
I leverage my real estate license to help to rob the banks. So in some relation, but had I been in real estate or martial arts, I still would have robbed the banks. So, I mean, they were all kind of independent of themselves. There was these banks. I'll give you a real fast version, but they took my grandma. And my grandma was a 49-year-old widow. At the time of the story, she's 85 or 86 years old. Diminished capacity at best. They take her farm from her and sell her 7 Buicks all in the same month. She didn't drive. She just got them all lined up. They just keep bringing them to the house. And so when my father stepped in, he said, what do you think she needs 7 cars for? Why do you keep selling her cars? And the guy said, well, she keeps signing for them. That was their whole excuse. And we did not get them to take back. The attorney general got involved in everything. She had to buy all of these cars. She refinanced the property, but she didn't know what that meant, so she didn't make the payments each month. The check was sitting down in escrow. She never went and got it. She didn't even understand what that process meant.
Did she have a reverse mortgage maybe?
No, she didn't have a reverse mortgage. She straight up refinanced the property. She never went and got the checks, but then, 30 days and 60 days and 90 days, now they're kicking her out. And their entire excuse was she signed the paperwork. So then I got them to sign paperwork. I got her that house back. Paid for every damn one of those cars. Kept a little something over for myself. Finder's fee for the grandson, they call that.
Nice.
Yes.
He didn't do anything wrong, in my opinion.
That was the only that's what you consider robbing the bank?
That's what they consider robbing the bank. And then you got to take this whole package. So then a bank becomes 4 banks, and 4 is closer to 11.
So then you scaled it.
Turns into a thing.
You scaled it.
Yes, I was operating at scale. Yes.
Did you franchise it ever, or just?
No, I kept it to myself for the most part.
So-
They wanted a franchise. They had some big problems. So there's a massive amount of money missing. Rumors of $15.2 million. And they're pretty sure they know how it happened. The problem is there's another 15.2 in process. So if they would like that train to come to a stop, then we are going to have to work out a deal. So in exchange for all of this, you know, I couldn't leave the state for 2 years. That's true. Probation. But there was no jail time.
But then you had to admit to something. That was the deal, right?
Yeah. I had to plead guilty to money laundering.
And how long did that stay on your record?
2 years.
Oh, that's it. Just 2 years.
It was 2
Totally
years.
worth it.
Well, in hindsight, having known what I know now, $15 million in exchange for not being able to leave the state for 2 years, I think, yeah. Well, unfortunately, that would be a character flaw, but I think I would take that deal again.
Well, the cherry on top is you saved grandma's house.
The entire point was to save the house. Yes, absolutely.
Because remember, we were having this conversation maybe a few months or a year ago. I'm like, if you knew exactly what your sentence was going to be before you committed the crime, say you're going to rob a bank, defraud them of $20 million, but you only got to do 6 months.
Sure.
Remember we were discussing
this? I
Would you do it? Versus you have no idea because the judge could make an example of you all of a sudden and boom, we're giving this guy 35 years. You're like, what? The other guy did 200 million and you only got 6 months.
Yep.
Why am I doing 35 years? So that's the question. He only had 2 years of probation for 15.
Yeah.
I mean, I do that all day long.
But that turned out well. Yeah. To your point, like if I could go back and know what I know now, and it might be a character flaw, but I likely would do it the same. But it doesn't have to be. They didn't have to be that nice to me. They were nice to me. They liked me.
Was it because you were young or?
I don't know. I asked the gal when the whole thing was done. I asked the gal, "Why'd you give me that deal?" And she said, "Because we liked you." That was all she said. And I said, "I appreciate it." And I left.
I wonder if it would be different if he was in Cali. I think California would have been stricter on him.
Oregon is a blue state.
Yeah, it was federal.
Okay.
It was federal charges.
And this was in 2011 or?
2011 is when I made the plea for it. The crime had happened in 2006.
2006. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious of this.
So you were 26
at the time. 26 at the time that I robbed
okay.
the banks. Yeah.
I'm curious. Would you have done what you did if you were married to this young lady and you had those 2 kids?
Yeah, he would have done it better because he would have come home and I would have been like, no.
That's it. Just
here's
15.
the problem here.
Yeah.
No, I told him, like, you would not just quit talking so much.
Yeah.
No, I think
I left quite a trail to my front door. And I left the trail thinking, when this gets caught, and this will get caught, I don't want them to think that I was trying to hide or I was trying to deceive them. I did this against sharks that did this to my grandma. And when you come and you ask me why I did it, and I will show you how it led to my door. And there was a level of appreciation to that. There was a level where they said, all right.
You were upfront and honest with them about what you did.
Yes.
I think once you have children.
They said, why did you do? Can you believe that? They would say, why did you do that? It's for the money. I couldn't believe they asked me, why did you rob these banks? For the money. It was a strange question. I had to go through the same thing in sport. They caught me on a performance-enhancing drug charge and asked me, have you ever taken anything to enhance your performance? I said, guys, I would never take anything unless I thought it would enhance my performance. It was the entire point. Of course, I have taken performance-enhancing drugs.
This was after the Anderson Silva fight, though, right? Or was it during the Anderson Silva fight?
It was after.
It was after.
Yes. When I had to deal with the commission the first time?
Yes.
Yes.
It was after. Okay. Because I remember during the Anderson Silva fight, and Brittany, we'll get back. Sorry, it's a guy thing when we jump into MMA, but during the Anderson Silva fight, a lot of people were breaking down that video and they're saying, look at how much back knee he has. He's on PEDs.
Sure. Yeah, that's a sign of it. Yeah, acne is a sign of it. I mean, not everybody on PEDs would have acne, but that's definitely a sign.
Yeah. Back to Brittany really quickly.
Oh yeah, that's a hot woman. Look at this girl's all mine. Forever. She made a deal.
Well, of course.
She can't go anywhere.
I'm not saying anything, Chael.
Yeah.
As far as work is concerned, I know you mentioned he has the podcast at home. He works from home a lot. Does he bring work home, meaning the personality, or is he really a teddy bear at home?
No, this is him. I mean, this is him 24/7. He's working until he closes his eyes. This is just him. But we've always had in our family, like, work comes first. I mean, I'm fine with that. That's what gives us the life that we have. So I'm fine with it.
That was a rule of my father. My father said people tell you family comes first, but those are people that aren't very good with family. They said work comes in front of everything, or your family's not going to be very happy with you. If you're the man, work first. If you're the woman, you can say the nice stuff about family is more important than everything. But he said, if you're the man, work.
Yeah, we all three of us believe in the traditional roles of, male figure being the breadwinner, being the provider, being the protector, and the mother being the nurturer and kind of helping raise the children. Are you guys playing that role right now, or Brittany, are you involved in anything outside of the whole house?
No, 100%. We have traditional roles. He works 24/7. I mean, I handle the kids and him, and that's how I like it. I really wouldn't have it any other way.
She works a lot, though. She cooks. She cooks 3 meals a day. We have a hot breakfast, a hot lunch, and a hot dinner every day.
She works harder than all three of us combined.
For sure.
Because
in terms of time, yes, for sure.
Everything. I mean, anytime you're home, the male is home with the kids for more than 4 to 5 hours, it gets a little difficult and you become a little restless. I mean, any man can say this. After a couple of hours, you realize, shit, you know what? My wife is actually truly a super mom, being able to deal with the kids, especially during summer breaks when school's out. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, activities, keeping them occupied while dad is either out working or running errands or whatever he's doing. So hats off to the moms, all moms, Brittany, our wives as well. It's one hell of a job. I think you guys are, as we said, super moms. So.
Somebody's scoring points tonight.
Hell yeah.
This is great.
Look at him. He's collecting.
Babe, this is going to air in 2 weeks.
Now, with this said, though, there's two sides of it. Like, you guys are not programmed to be with children. I mean, small kids, your DNA, you can't be around screaming babies that would then want you to coddle. Like, men are not supposed to do that. I believe. And then it's not lost on me that I have a comfortable life. And your guys' wife said, like, we're in our yoga pants, getting Starbucks, taking care of our kids. It's very different if you're in, a different situation and the mom's, means are different. I mean, that is way tough. So that's not lost on me.
So how do you guys balance parenting?
Oh boy. How do we balance parenting?
Well, I don't know how to answer that either. We all get up at the same time. She gets breakfast going and gets their lunches made, and I help them to get dressed. But then once they're dressed, then she does I think I stop at brushing teeth, and then she picks out their clothes and puts our daughter in a little chair every day and combs her hair, and then she drives them to school. A lot of times that's both of us, but if I wasn't there, she has driven them every day. They don't ride the school bus, and that's a thing. Back when I was growing up, that was a cool thing. You looked forward to riding the school bus.
That's my thing. I hate the school
bus. It's not like
for
that
some reason
anymore. And now pickup line is very competitive, by the way. Like, she picks them up from school as well, but that can be an hour wait. You have to get there an hour early because so many other parents are there, and it's kind of like a virtue signal within our neighborhood. But it's still a competition that we're not willing to lose. So we get there the hour early if that's what it takes.
Yeah, same here. Anytime we're dropping off and picking up, I mean, I tend to park further away and then walk with my daughter. So we have, a conversation, chit chat. I mean, we're lucky we're in California, so we get that weather.
Nice weather, yeah.
All year long. You guys are a little bit on the unluckier side with the rain and the weather in Oregon, right?
Yes.
So it's a little bit different here. But as far as activities are concerned, so you have a boy and you have a girl.
Yep.
Is your son in any sort of, because dad's a wrestler, right?
Yes.
Any sort of wrestling with your boy?
Yes. He is a wrestler. That is what he would identify himself as. He was second in the state for rings on gymnastics.
Oh, you're going to get murdered for saying this.
Which we were very proud of. We went and watched him and we thought that he was pretty good. But when they called out awards at the state championship and he was second, we had no idea that he was excelling so much. But that he won't let us tell anyone that upsets him for some reason.
Dude, you got to be really strong to be able to do that.
What a great sport. I mean, the athleticism that you need, the timing, the balance, the strength, what a complete and great sport, but he doesn't see it that way. So
He doesn't like gymnastics
No.
overall because he came in second.
no, just gymnastics overall. Yes, it's a real struggle to get him through the door to train.
Because I think that would even help him with wrestling or any sort of MMA,
everything.
right?
Their
Because
agility, his strength.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he was on a team for hours a day, but it was so hard to get him in. He wants a wrestler.
like I've been
Yeah.
considering putting my boys in gymnastics for maybe a short amount, maybe 6 to 12 months, just to help with their agility and their balance. Because it's probably the only sports that's going to help them with that.
Yeah.
If you look at, for example, calisthenics, right? The things these guys are able to do, they're pretty much like gymnasts versus a bodybuilder. A bodybuilder just lifts heavy weights, but they can't lift their own body in that. But a calisthenic guy can lift himself up with just one finger, or I mean, the athleticism is on a whole different level versus
Agreed.
a bodybuilder. And I think that the same thing applies to gymnasts.
It's required in Russia. Russia wins a lot of the gold medals. It's always between Russia, China, and the U.S. But when the Olympic Games roll around, but every sport in Russia, every sport, that's all the way down to ping pong. You cannot actually participate in the sport until you can demonstrate to a government official that you have a grasp of certain gymnastics techniques, a back handspring, cartwheels, some somersaults. You got to be able to do 25 push-ups for any sport. If you could be a ballerina, you are not allowed to compete. Got to do 10 pull-ups. There's a whole thing that's overseen by a government official. Starts with really little kids. And if they don't ever get there, that we call it a bracketing room, where people get matched up and they get assigned to a court or a field. Or if you can't prove that in the bracket room, you're scratched from the tournament.
Why do we not have that here in the States?
And see, for example, even dancing, right? In Armenia, if you went dancing, you actually had to understand rhythm. They would clap, and the kid had to be able to clap and follow that. Here, his daughter goes dancing. As long as you can pay the monthly fee, whatever it is, you're good. You're in.
Sure.
There's no qualifying. There's no like, well, we need you to do a couple of steps and see if you're qualified to take dancing lessons or whatnot. But Armenia was like that, and like you said, Russia's like that.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's the discipline factor in the United States has become very soft because a lot of these, like when we were going to high school, you can tell it was getting softer and softer and softer. But when you look at some of these older clips of the United States and how high school was, like during the Kennedy era, right? You saw guys were all practically they all looked like Chael Sonnen.
Yeah.
They were all fit, all in shape.
Tell them.
All of them had the six pack, and they were doing like the monkey bars, pull ups. Nowadays, you're looking at all these kids; they're all in front of a damn iPad, stuffing their faces with Twinkies and burgers and all this crap. I mean, what's the discipline factor at the Sonnen house? How are you guys monitoring everything the kids are like doing as far as like activities, screen time, meals, everything?
I do even want to tell that story. I cannot stand an iPad. I smashed our sons.
Nice.
In a
With a
very
dumbbell.
calm way. I cannot handle it. I just associate the iPad and the screen time with lazy fat losers, to be quite honest.
LFL.
And that is not going to be my son. So I hate it. And so you got to get off your iPad. He wouldn't get off his iPad. And so he called my bluff. And I said, I will smash your iPad if you do not, give it to me right now. And so I went into, I think he was working out in the gym. And I said, give me your iPad. And he gave it to me. And I said, you say one more word. And there's dumbbells. I'm dropping this on your iPad. He's just, no, you won't do it. And I looked at Chael. And he's just thinking, I'm going to have to buy a new iPad. And I dropped it on there. I smashed his iPad. He hasn't had one since. That was 3.5 years ago.
He was a sport about it, though. He believes in don't ever let him see you sweat. Like, of all the things I've ever told him, that's the one that's really resonated. When you're in trouble, to act as though you don't mind at all. And so she smashed his iPad, and he picked it up and put it in the garbage can, never said a word about it. And that was about 3 years ago. He never asked for another iPad.
Never asked,
And I know he wants one. He loves the iPad. I know he wants one, but he hasn't asked for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do they play video games or watch TV at home? Or it's just
They watch TV, but
they're welcome to play them. We put the Sony on one TV and we put the Xbox on another TV. Like, they're welcome to go play them, but no, I don't think he's ever turned it on.
I hate him.
Yeah, I was playing Call of Duty one time and I was trying to show him how to play, and he thought it was fun. He thought it was cool. He joined me, but then he never came back.
You were playing Call of Duty?
Yes.
Interesting.
I got it. I turned it on for him. It was a Christmas gift, but I was trying to show him what he got. I was trying to show him this is what you do.
He's not into video games.
No.
He was into it that day. He acted like it was fun. He played Pac-Man somewhere along the way, and he really enjoyed it. But he never asked for quarters to go play Pac-Man again, or he never went to the TV and turned the Call of Duty on again. I guess it just wasn't his thing.
I think it was more of like, oh, all the kids are doing it at school. All the kids have the Sonys and the Xboxes and all this stuff. I want one too. And then when he gets it, he realizes, well, you know what? I have it, but this isn't all it seems to be. It's whatever.
He's got a wrestling mat, and it's a light one. You can roll it up and put it over your shoulder. And he walks out around the neighborhood and throws it down in kids' yard, and then unwheeled and tries to get them.
No, are you serious?
Yeah, he set up next to a lemonade stand. This just happened 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So the neighbor kids are selling lemonade, and they got their chairs out there and the cups, and they got a little sign. And he took a sign out there, rolled out his wrestling mat, and said, $10 if you can gut wrench me. That's a wrestling move where you turn a guy over. $10 if you can gut wrench me. $5 to try. And
that reminds me, there's that one college wrestler or former wrestler who does that $1,000 if you
$1,000. That guy's pretty good.
I think he's Greek. Yeah, that guy, the short guy.
Yes, Cornell.
Short, stubby guy. Yeah.
He
short,
was a
stubby
Cornell
guy.
wrestler,
Yeah,
and I've never seen him have to pay that money. I've never seen anybody take him down.
Neither have I. That's what your son is doing.
Yes.
Maybe he's seen him on Instagram. That's why.
Yes, he must have.
He must have.
So
Yeah,
have you thought about sending him to Dagestan for 2 or 3 years and forget?
I told him that last week. I said, I'm sending you. You're getting
Send him to Dagestan 2-3 years and forget.
Yeah.
And he said, I would actually really like that. And I was like, okay.
Is he a big kid, like tall or?
I guess he is, but I don't really know because I don't hang out. Like I see his buddies, but I guess he is.
They do it on percentile, and for percentile, he's in the 93 percentile.
No.
But a quarter inch can swing that. He weighs 91 pounds, but that puts him in the upper of his kid. So I don't know that he's all that big of a kid, but percentile wise, I guess apparently
93 is it's up there.
Well, mom and dad are tall, so I'm assuming. Again, Chael's going to start flexing again, but dad's a nice, in shape, buff guy. I mean, hopefully he has your genes.
Dagestan's an interesting concept, though, because they do win a lot of medals, but they take a lot of steroids. They don't have any
like that.
technique.
We're fine with that.
Sure, but it levels the playing field. If your kid's on steroids and this guy's kid's on steroids, you're back to even.
That's fine.
A guy that gets an advantage is the guy on steroids against people who are not. And that's the thing in Russia. Like they make believe to the world that they've got some kind of secret technique, but they don't. They have steroids for 9-year-olds.
But do you think it's steroids, or do you think it's more of the discipline factor in Dagestan?
No.
Because when you look at Khabib and all these guys talking about what they do in Dagestan, all they say is we eat, we train, we sleep.
Yes.
We eat, we train, we sleep. I mean, they don't even see their wives when it comes to the fight camp.
It's
Which
a
is
nice
so
thing to
weird.
say. It's just not true. Every Russian coach that has ever come here, and our Olympic training centers are funded by the United States Senate. We have real money for this stuff. Do you guys understand why Olympic medals are so important? You might not. The reason Olympic medals are so important is this is Putin demonstrating, or this is our president demonstrating, or this is Xi out of China demonstrating. We don't need to go to war. This is the age group of people that go to war. They have to be disciplined. They have to be focused. They have to hard work. They have to take direction. So if I can beat you on the track or the field or the court, I don't actually have to battle you. Nobody knows if anybody's got a good military. That's all talk. The American military is the greatest in the world. How do you know? When's the last time you tested that theory? So the real leaders of the world understand that the Olympic Games are the greatest representation of their military power. So they put a lot of funding into the Olympic Games. And you can fall, like who the most feared countries in the world are. They're also the ones that have the most Olympic medals. Like there's not two sides to this. There's just this. And I only tell you that because every time we would hire a Russian coach to come over here to America, the very first time, every story you'll ever hear, the coach says, "Why do you guys work so hard? Don't work as hard. You need to refine your technique and things like this, but that you work too hard."
Here, just take this.
Yeah. Well, but then when they tell their story about, in Dagestan, all we do is train. It's like, no, you guys don't work that hard. Every coach that you've ever had come to America has largely been a story of failure. Why can't they take our Americans and do it? Particularly if you're admitting up front that we work harder. And the reason is steroids. That's the truth. Or they act like this is all we do is wrestle and we eat and we sleep. Well, then you're a lazy son of a bitch. I'd be embarrassed if all I did is train and eat and sleep. Go do something. Get out there and contribute to the world. Like those guys should not be proud of that fact. And then, 3 times a year we beat up another guy in a cage. It's weird. They
Well,
need to get a hobby.
We talked to Benil about this, and Benil was saying, you know what, they aren't all that, because what the UFC has is the cream of the crop. They have the best ones from Dagestan. And he's trained with a lot of these Russians, and he goes, bro, like half of them are just whatever. Like there are better wrestlers in the United States. There are better wrestlers outside of the United States, outside of Russia. So he goes, we're just lucky to have the Khabibs, the Islams, the Chimaevs, all those guys.
Sure.
But other than that, he goes, the whole send to Dagestan 2 or 3 years, forget is BS.
Yeah.
It's a great marketing ploy, though.
Yeah, and they do a good job. By the way, I mean the Russians do a good job. When I was coming up wrestling, you know, Alexander Karelin was on my wall, and the Bela Glazov brothers. I understand they do a good job, but what I'm here to share for you is they don't have an NHL, they don't have an NBA, they don't have whatever we call with the NFL. They don't have these things. So their top athletes are their amateur athletes. The top sport in Russia is wrestling. So the absolute best DNA goes into that. They don't have a hold or a technique or a training, anything that's better than we have in America. We just don't have the right guys. Our best athletes go into other sports.
The fact that you forgot NFL tells me you don't watch any sports outside. Do you?
I've never seen a game. I've never seen an entire basketball game or an entire football game, but I've tried. We even bought season tickets to something called the Winterhawks. They're a semi-pro hockey team. And we showed up. We bought the seats. We got up and left. It was so painfully boring. People that will go and brag about hockey, and I'll ask you, why? Why are you looking forward to that painfully boring sport? And they say, because a fight might break out. I say, so you're going to watch an entire hockey game hoping a fight will break out, but you won't come to an MMA event where you're guaranteed a fight's going to break out. And the answer was yes. They could sell out hockey events, and we could not sell out UFC events. That was true for a meaningful period of time. You know, Dana White brought us in incredible leadership, and that has swayed. But it just always surprised me. The part that people would enjoy the most, or that they would come in Monday and talk about at the football game, as if, you know, one of the benches cleared, or it clears for baseball so they can get out there and yell at one another. I mean, these guys fight like such sissies, but that was a big deal in my school. They talk about they cleared the bench and this guy got right in his face. But then if you try to get him to watch an actual ass whipping contest, that they weren't as interested in that.
It's a little different.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
Do you watch Power Slap?
I just went to one. I
don't understand that. I mean, I don't even want to call this sport.
Sure. And I was in the same boat. I didn't get it. I didn't get the concept of letting another person do it to you. But I will share this with you. I went live when it was in New Orleans. And first off, the spectacle, the show was all there. It was great. It was like being at a
UFC event?
UFC. They had the screens hung up, and they got the walkout songs. They got the announcer, the ring card girls. It really was a production. And then they had a few characters. And when the characters came out, that played it up to the crowd, and it ended up being a very good time, to the point where I had never gone before and I hadn't watched it before. And when this evening was over, I was disappointed it was over. I found myself
really
enjoying Power Slap.
But what was appealing about? Like, what did you enjoy about two men, and it's women too now?
Yeah,
like two individuals standing across from each other.
Okay,
they're one of them. Their hands are held behind them, and then you just get to slap them as hard as you can.
And I love that question, but I'll tell you, MMA is over. MMA is a big deal in America. But if you ask the most diehard fight fan what it is he likes about MMA, he'll give you a ridiculous answer. And the bottom line is he doesn't know. He doesn't know what he likes about MMA. So he'll talk about the action, and he'll talk about it's a fight, and he'll talk about he doesn't know. What the fan likes is you have conflict met with conflict resolution. It's the same reason that court TV works. There's a conflict of any kind, but you're guaranteed resolution. And so I offer you that only because that's what Slap has as well. They have some type of a dispute, whatever it's about, they're going to resolve it in this manner. There will be a winner, there will be a loser, there will be a celebration, there will be heartbreak. Cut the music, on to the next guy, fade to black, roll the credits. I mean, it's a pretty simple product. But I hear people do that with martial arts all the time, with MMA, and talk about how great it is, and it's the fastest growing, and it's its own sport, and they really talk it up, and I'll just listen to them. But I know in their heart as a consumer, they don't know what it is they like. What they like about it is conflict met with resolution.
I think it's an art form, though.
Yep.
It's truly an art form, especially you see how much has changed throughout the years. You had the Gracies who started MMA,
Sure.
or the UFC, sorry, And they wanted to prove a point that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is the superior of all combat. And they somewhat proved it, that Royce Gracie was able to submit a bunch of people. And as time went on, you saw it transition from the Chuck Liddells to the Brazilians who came in, and the Brazilians began to dominate it with their Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And then now you have all these, I guess you would say, Caucasians, which is basically the Dagestanis, the Georgians, the Armenian, all these guys are now, they're dominating the sport with the wrestling. And you're like, all right, what's next? What's going to be the next form of art, martial arts, that's going to be dominant to the wrestling?
Yep.
And it's just, it's continuously changing. I look at it as an art form.
But jiu-jitsu was not a new form of martial arts. It was just not common in the United States or most other countries.
But it showed that jiu-jitsu was the most dominant because nobody had seen it. And they were like, holy crap, this guy just
there was
grabbed
no defense against it.
Nobody knew how to defend against it. And then everybody began to learn jiu-jitsu. And then all of a sudden a wrestler came in and the wrestler began to hold the jiu-jitsu guy down and was like, dude, I can't, he's stronger than me. His upper body is stronger. His lower body is stronger. He's got my legs locked up. And it's becoming a little bit more difficult for me to submit the guy. And now they're like, all right, now everybody's a wrestler.
Sure.
Today's show is sponsored by the law offices of Armand Grigorian. If you're injured in a car accident and need proper guidance and representation, reach out to the law offices of Armand Grigorian, 1-818-404-0333.
Are insurance companies giving you the runaround? Don't settle for less. Public Assist fights for you, not the insurance companies. To get the maximum payout on your claim, whether it's for fire, water, or property damage, call Public Assist today and tell them the Wise Nut sent you. Get what's rightfully yours. 818-242-0998. 818-242-0998, because you deserve every single dollar.
Severn is who you're talking about, was the wrestler that came in, held Royce Gracie down.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you, my life changed the day Dan Severn fought in the UFC. I was 17 years old and a junior in high school, and I had no idea that wrestling made me a dangerous guy. And my friends did not treat me as though, because you're the better wrestler than all of us, that you're the leader of the pack. It was Dan Severn going out and showing that wrestling is useful in a fight that got all us other wrestlers to open our eyes and go, oh, really? I didn't know that. We all assumed karate was, or we assumed that boxing was. My father told me himself. My father told me how important martial arts was, but that nothing beats boxing. And my dad was a wrestler, and I've been wrestling 8 or 9 years. And he told me, I'm sorry I had to get you into wrestling. I got you into boxing, but we couldn't find a boxing gym. So I grew up believing that the boxer beat up the wrestler. And Dan Severn is the one that changed everybody's mind on that.
Yeah.
And I hear what your point is on the art. I'm going to stand by the fact that the reason this works is conflict versus conflict resolution. I would prove my point by saying you could watch it on mute with a party full of people. The announcers don't matter. And I will share that people are going to leave awfully upset if you have a draw. You must have resolution. Whatever these two boys are fighting for. But there's got to be a winner and the's got to be a loser.
Then it becomes WWE.
Well, every 15 minutes, it's what it is. Every 15 minutes, somebody wins and they bring out the new guy.
See, Brittany, how would you feel if your son decided to follow dad's footsteps and join in MMA?
I would expect it. I mean, we know everything there needs to know about it, but I would also expect him to have about 18 other jobs. You're not just going to practice and coming home. You're not doing that. That's
you're not
ridiculous.
getting away with that at our house.
No, you better have backup plan after backup plan after backup plan.
Well, there's no such thing, and I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm trying to add to your thought, but there's no such thing as a full-time fighter.
No.
That's a code for a lazy man.
No.
You don't get to go to practice 2 times a day and act like you've somehow contributed to the world.
Yes. A man does not just have one job. And practice, it takes 2 hours a day.
Yeah. Well, not to mention it's a game. It's practice.
Yes. I would be fine with it, but he knows that he should have other jobs. If he thinks he's going to go to training camp and leave his family, no, you're not doing that.
Yeah,
That's
training camp is just a
freaking
code for I got a
ridiculous.
mistress in another town.
You want to get a break
Training
from your
camp.
wife.
What a bunch of dorks.
It
This
really
came
is.
from the boxing world. Now, why anybody on earth would try to copy things from the boxing world? I mean, you'll never bet a bigger bunch of dum-dums than boxers, but they were so quick in MMA. The word training camp finally came, and trainers, and the whole thing got really weird. But there's no such thing as a training camp. Anybody that tells his old lady that, it means you and the kids are driving me nuts, and I got a sidey a few towns down. See you in 3 months. Nobody has ever gone to a training camp in their life.
Basically, it's ridiculous.
What would you do?
So stupid.
What would you do at training camp?
It's basically chopan.
It's so dumb.
So Gegard Mousasi was right.
The Gegard out
Do you
this
say that?
Gegard's a tough son of a bitch.
So Gegard was on our show, and we talked. Do you
Armenian?
know? Yes. So do
Proud
you?
Armenian. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah. You know what? You got to watch that episode. Do you know what Gegard's camp consisted of? So he was like, "So who am I fighting?" Well, it's you're fighting this wrestler. All right, cool. He'll get on the phone. He'll call one of his buddies who's a wrestler. He goes, "Hey, what are you doing Friday?" "Nothing. Do you want to just wrestle for a couple hours and then I'll go home and have mom's
Dolma.
No,
That's what he had no official training camp. Zero. And we were like, "And you became a Bellator champion?" He goes, "Yeah, you don't really need a camp. You just got to show up." And
you don't need a camp. My God, how many men are out there, farmers? I mean, doing multiple things. It's like they're babies. Professional athletes are babies. Fighters are babies.
They should be
live
embarrassed.
a child's game. They get paid millions of dollars, and they're babies.
They should be embarrassed
you,
to
but
say this is what I do for a living and act like that's it.
So okay,
You're right about that.
Chael's got a fight coming up, for example.
Yeah.
What was you didn't have a training camp?
Well, we went to practice every single day. I never missed practice.
But how many hours?
Well, the morning would be about an hour and 15 minutes. That's with warm up and everything, but an hour and about 45 minutes really hard. And then the afternoon, you'd be there for 2 hours, but you probably train for about an hour and 40 minutes. Then you got the cool down, the visit with the guys, maybe, some 20 minutes in the sauna. But yeah, they were really intense and they were really hard. And there was times in the middle of the day where you would have a recovery phase. But, I had teammates that hadn't made it up the card yet. They didn't have that kind of pay structure. They did the same work that I did. They were there at 6 a.m. They were leaving the gym at 9 p.m. And they were building houses in between, or they were painting houses in between, or whatever their profession used to be. So, that's another thing that these lazy MMA guys have sold themselves on, that I must recover. I've got to go home and take a nap. Like you're a child. I go home and nap in the middle of the day. If I ever took a nap in the middle of the day, I would never tell anybody ever.
You would have to hide.
Oh, I couldn't even imagine being a grown man and saying, "Oh, I took a nap in the middle of the day to recover from my evening training."
So truly, like other men, like do you nap in the middle of the day? Like, what are you doing?
You must understand.
I nap twice a day, actually.
Do you really?
Yeah. At
Before
2
or
p.m.
after your warm milk?
What if somebody called?
Well, I just told everybody.
Would you say I'm napping? Oh my God! If my son ever grabbed and told somebody
God.
Dad's in bed,
But
he's got an auto text that says, "Just had my warm milk. I'll call you in an hour."
But in a lot of countries like Japan, Iran, certain countries, even Europe, a lot of European countries, they have an hour, 2 hours for nap time. Everybody. Businesses are closed.
Bro,
I'm not kidding you.
I'm not going to say what
in Japan. In Japan, doctors' offices, right, in healthcare especially, they've got a sleep room. After lunch, you got to go take an hour nap, and then you come back and you continue your work.
Oh, knock it off! Look how many
I'm not
things you
kidding
could
you.
get
but what's a
done
work
in
day?
that time.
Is it an 8-hour workday in Japan?
No way.
That would surprise me.
You think it's more or less? Less?
I think so.
How are they so efficient if it's less?
I don't
Less than
know.
8 hours, and they take a nap?
I don't think it's less than 8 hours.
So what are they working from then? From what
Remember
time
in
to what
Iran?
time?
I mean, your parents are from Iran. Everybody had nap time in Iran. They would
I
drink
don't
they
remember.
Well, you're not from Iran.
I was
Your
having
parents are.
naps.
Ask your dad. Go home. Ask your dad. Dad, didn't you come home from work, had your lunch, had your tea, and then you have to take a nap and go back to work?
I got to ask my
That's
dad
how it
this
was.
question now.
That's how it was
Sure.
in Iran. Yeah.
Sure.
That's-
I will tell you on MMA guys though, I personally have never been around a faker group of tough guys than MMA fighters. To watch some of these guys, you get called to go to work 3 times a year. Do you know how many guys call in sick? I mean, I don't put LeBron James down as a tough guy. I don't put Tiger Woods or Serena down as tough guys. They would never not show up. They would never sit down and want to renegotiate based on who the next game is against. Like this is exclusive to MMA. And of those 3 times a year that they get called to go to work, They don't show up. The guy, his elbow hurts or his knee hurts. I couldn't imagine my elbow or knee not hurting. I couldn't imagine not making that walk when it's your time. But these aren't real tough guys. These are fake tough guys that want to cut the line down at the local strip club, get a tattoo on their shoulder, tell somebody about the good old day. I mean, the best of them, the best of the best of them, which I would have to put is Jon Jones. You can't get him to show up for work 3 times a year. If John's not going to do it, why would anybody else?
But you don't think with MMA, for instance, right? If you look, you were comparing basketball and tennis, and for example, if LeBron James loses 10 games, 30 games in the season, doesn't change anything.
Sure.
Worst case, they won't go into the playoffs, or they won't make the conference finals or finals, whatever the outcome may be. But an individual sport, especially MMA, where you're only fighting once, twice, maybe 3 times a year, you lose 1 or 2, you're down the ranks. Your chances of ever making the big bucks or becoming a champion are pretty much slim to none at that point.
Sure.
You don't think that's the reason why a lot of MMA fighters are particular about kind of picking and choosing their opponents? I mean, look at Mayweather even. Mayweather was picking a lot of his opponents, and that's why he's 50-0.
I think there's a truth to what you're saying. I'm just sharing. If you got out a calculator and a pencil, the math doesn't change. If a guy will only do 1 fight this year and 1 fight next year, and he gets it, I mean, you're not getting better with time. His odds of winning aren't going to change. If he wants to delay the inevitable, which is the pink slip in the end of his career, go ahead. But I will tell you, I grew up in the sport of wrestling. And we would have 5 matches every Saturday. We'd have a dual meet on Thursday. You know, you're putting in almost 30 matches a month with weigh-ins. And that's a big deal. The number one reason that a fighter retires is not because his contract's up or he can't do it anymore. The number one reason you ever hear of a guy retiring is he doesn't want to make weight anymore. And that's just an interview that doesn't settle well with the world. So you just say, thank you, and I'm done. But it's that lifestyle. It's what goes into it, the changing of your physiology, getting up early, getting those runs in, not having enough food. The number one reason, the reason we didn't get Khabib versus Conor Part 2, and the UFC changed all the numbers, and it goes from 2 million to 4 million, they changed all the numbers. They didn't look at the right number. If they would have made that 170 pounds as opposed to 155 pounds, they would have gotten that fight. But the number one reason people retire, they just got faced with this with Islam. It's like, look, you can cut Islam's career short like you did Khabib's, or you can let him go up to 170. But he's not going to beat that scale over and over and over again. It's the hardest part of the sport. And I'll just tell you, because you brought up some of these other sports or a guy delaying it. You're delaying the inevitable. You're not going to, you got to win the fights you can win when you can win them. And if you can't do it today, your chances don't go up that you can do it tomorrow. But I will tell you, from the sport of amateur wrestling, if I can just finish this thought, I have never seen a guy miss weight. I've been to every NCAA tournament in the last 34 years. They've never had somebody not miss weight. I could not tell you in Olympic Games. And I know it's not a literal statement, but I couldn't tell you, and I'm pretty good at this, where an athlete missed weight. We will have an MMA show every Saturday between the organizations, and you are guaranteed that somebody will miss weight.
I mean, we've had a half a dozen probably MMA fighters over the years on the show, and I still don't understand what's the point of cutting weight. Like, if you're walking around at 190, why don't you just fight at 185? Or
I mean, it's obvious, man. It's to have an advantage over your fighter.
Why go down to 155? That's it. Like, even this weekend when I took my son to, I was telling you in the car, to the local MMA fights, right? I mean, his coach is a tiny guy. And he had gone from 151 down to 134. And he's a small guy. 16 pounds, that's a big, huge weight loss for him.
Sure.
And I'm just wondering, okay, why don't you just fight around 150? Why do you need to cut down to 134?
And it ends careers, by the way. It cuts their career short. Dude, all those guys, Olympic champion and NCAA champion, but if you look at them, they're all retired by 27. And it's not because they can't do the game. They don't want to make the weight.
And there's a reason why they don't televise the actual weigh-ins anymore. Sure. Because a lot of these guys don't look healthy, man. Yep. They look malnourished.
But how come nobody fights at that weight? That's what
it's to have an advantage. Chael, what were you walking around at in your prime?
About 202 pounds.
So he's cutting down to 185, and then by fight night, what are you at? Are you
202?
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, but 15 pounds for 200.
Point. Yeah, I get your point fully, and it's largely an American phenomenon. Like, if you take the guys in the Eastern Bloc, or we were talking about Artur earlier, if I'm saying his name right,
Artur Alexander.
He cuts 2 kilograms, which is 4.4 pounds.
But he's a heavyweight.
Sure. Well, 211 now, but he competes at close to what he weighs. He's not carrying any extra body weight. But I'm just sharing with you, the Russians don't cut a lot of weight. The Eastern Blocs don't cut a lot of weight. The Cubans don't cut a lot of weight. It's an American phenomenon. If I should be 185, I'm going to try for 170, and I'll do great at 155. That is a thought of children's dads.
But how are you going to do great if you're saying there's an advantage? There's no advantage if your opponent is doing the same thing. It's not like your opponent is walking around 145 and competing at 145.
Well, it's kind of like keeping up with the Joneses. If he's doing it, I'm going to be doing it. He's going to be doing it. He's going to be doing it. Everybody's going to be doing
Feels
it.
like you're forced. Feels like you're forced to do it.
At that point, you are.
I don't think Fedor ever cut weight.
Well, Fedor was a heavyweight. Fedor just had to be under 265, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, he weighed about 236. But it's an excellent point. I'll share this with you. When those guys cut weight, it's largely their fathers that are making them do it. Like I see it. We have kids that are 8 and 9 and 10 years old, and they got the sweatsuits on. They're spitting into a cup trying to lose this weight. It really is a disadvantage. Yeah. I mean, when I watch the kids do it, I don't understand. I cut weight one time, and my father stood there and let me do it, and he didn't say one word. He let me do it. When we got done, he said, "You're a chicken shit." And I said, "Why do you say that?" Like everyone that I ever looked up to cut weight. I was a young kid. I was doing what all these other guys. And he said, because you didn't cut weight to wrestle somebody, you cut weight to get away from somebody. And it's true. And you'll never meet a guy that cuts weight for a harder fight. He's cutting weight to get away from what he perceives to be a harder fight. And I'm telling you, this sport is the fakest group of tough guys you've ever been around.
But I feel like that just happened. That's when it became the art. It's an art.
Yeah.
What's considered a tough guy?
Well, like an actual tough guy, first off, does not take naps in the middle of the day. An actual tough guy would have more pride for himself and his family to even take like you would know what to lie. You would never say I was at home sleeping. A tough guy doesn't talk about recovery. A tough guy doesn't act like going to work 3 times a year is a lot. A tough guy doesn't pull up an ass whipping contest because he's got a broken forearm or sore shin. A tough guy will understand that in a real life situation, if things are going to jump off, you don't say to the other guy, "What do you weigh? Hold on. Let me get on the scale. Okay, you know what? My shoulder's bothering me, but if I could just have a couple of weeks to prepare for this." That's not what a tough guy does.
Any blue collar man is a tough guy.
Any blue collar man is a tough guy.
I mean, truly.
Yes. My father was a plumber. He was a tough guy.
Wake up early
every day.
Go to work. Take care of the kids.
No excuses.
That's a tough guy.
Dirty hands. You got dirty hands 24/7. You're a tough guy.
Are you looking for a place to socialize, network, while having a cigar and a drink at the same time? Well, the Glen Arden is the place for you. If you're interested in becoming a member with the Glen Arden Club, contact the Wise Nuts. We'll connect you to the boys at the Glen Arden, and you could become a member here. Smoke with the Wise Nuts, smoke with a great network, and build your network.
Where do you get that from, Brittany? That mindset?
That was poetry, by the way. Gorgeous.
Thank you. My dad, construction worker. I mean, worked hard. My brother's construction. I mean, that's just how it is.
When I'm governor, things are going to change. I don't mean to cut to add to what you're saying, but the way we have it in Oregon right now, the guy whose kid goes to college is supposed to be the guy that's proud and he gets to throw the celebration. Well, it should be the guy whose kid built the college.
Yes.
That's the one. There's a very big difference in working and having a job. And if you are expected to get dirty and or sweaty, you work. If you do not have a reasonable expectation to get dirty and or sweaty, you have a job. And they are not the same thing, and they should not be taxed the same for that matter.
Did you just say when you're governor of Oregon?
Yes. Which is coming a lot sooner than you might think.
Really?
Yes.
Oregon is a very blue state.
Yes.
How do you expect to do something like that?
Well, you know, they say that it's a blue state.
If you get out of Portland,
we just got two
see all
cities.
The farmers. You'll see every.
Yeah, we got more cowboys than we got hippies. We just don't always get them to the
voting
booth.
by now.
Yes.
What's the population in Oregon?
All total, just under 4 million.
And then what's the population in Portland?
907,000.
Okay, so it's not even over 1 million.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because Portland and Oregon and Washington are known to be very, very blue.
Yeah.
And for somebody like you,
weak. They're known to be weak.
Yes, absolutely. Very beyond weak. I think masculinity is completely thrown out the window there. But for somebody like you to come in there and flip that state red, dude, I mean, that'll be tough.
Be very hard to do. Yes.
Very, very hard to do.
Yes, the primary won't be as hard. You got to understand. Okay. And you've probably said this. You've probably said that there's cheating in elections. You've probably said those words, but I'll guarantee you never did it, and you never explained
There's
how
no
the
cheating in
was done.
elections, Chael.
You've heard this term.
No,
Yes?
are you telling me that Biden didn't get 81 million
No,
votes?
but I'm saying you've probably found yourself using these. But two things you haven't done: you've never admitted to cheating yourself, and you've never explained to your audience how it's done. I have cheated in election, and I know how to cheat in election. And the moment I found out that you could get away with this was the moment I found out I was going to be governor. And I put the word out to all the other candidates. By the way, if you want to go waste your time and waste your money, go ahead. But I'm going to steal this election.
You've said. I mean, you're saying it now.
I'm saying it now, but I'm saying we got all sorts of people that say you can steal an election. It's like, okay, well, tell me how, and why haven't you done it before? And one is they don't have the balls to do it, and two is they don't actually know how it's done. It just sounded like something clever to say. I know how to steal it, and I'm gonna. And don't you see that as the tip of that? That's what we call sportsmanship. A real sportsman will tell you that he's going to stab you in the back, not just let you turn around and then do it. I will tell them they're wasting their time and money. I'm going to steal the election.
When is the Oregon election?
And they always ask that. They talk about what it's so blue versus so red. I'm not going to follow the rules. So it doesn't really matter who's got blue and who's got red.
That's a great campaign
Thank
slogan.
you. I appreciate that. That's called honesty. That's what a real man does.
How do you feel about him running for governor?
I support him.
Well, Jesse Ventura
Yeah.
did it. Why can't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Oh, it was
If
the
he
governor.
wants to do something, I don't tell him.
Because
not to.
right
if
now,
he decides he's going to do something, he doesn't.
Yeah.
And
because right now, Chael's a very interesting character. And don't take this the wrong way.
I would
by the
never.
way. Okay. I just want to make sure because you are larger than me. But as far as him being in the limelight in the MMA world,
Mhm.
he tends to attract a lot of people. Now you're talking about running a state.
it's a different.
That's a different ball,
beast.
especially in Oregon where you
Yeah.
got some crazy psychopath liberals.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
It's true.
I get worried about our kid. Like we can handle it. I mean, I can handle anything. I do get worried, like, okay, is this going to take away from our kids? And I was talking to Teddy Atlas's wife, boxer, and she told me, don't you ever tell your husband not to do something. That is the best example for your kids you could ever have. If he's going to do something, let him do it. If he fails, who cares? That's the greatest example your kids will ever see.
Yeah.
And I
That's
shut up,
interesting.
and then I,
That's good advice.
yeah, it was.
I didn't know
That's
she
the
told
truth.
you that. Yeah. That's
What,
good
what's
advice.
that movie with
Which one?
Zach, the comedian Zach Galifianakis,
Zach
where he's running,
Galifianakis?
where he ends up running for office for Congress against the man, I'm so bad with these celebrity names.
I forgot which movie you're
The
talking
guy
about.
Is
that
it
played
called The
Anchorman.
Candidate?
Yes, I think
Yeah,
so.
I think
Yeah,
it
have you
is.
seen that movie?
Yes. It's a long time ago. I saw a different one that Eddie Murphy did, where Eddie Murphy had the same name, Jeffrey Johnson, as the sitting congressperson who died. So he jumped on the ballot knowing that people are just products of nature, and they voted Jeffrey Johnson, not realizing the real one was dead, and it got Eddie elected
And he became
to office. Yeah, he became the
Office.
congressman, yeah. But, Congress is a very, good for them, but you're still going into cooperating, get along with people. And I mean, there's certain positions that you run for when you're not looking for group thought. There's certain positions you run for when you've already got it figured out. And if you don't want that, if you want to have group thought and sit down and talk about talking, meet about meeting, there's other choices for governor. But when I get in there, I will already have this figured out.
What are you planning on changing in Oregon?
The very first thing I'm going to do change is I am going to change the entire concept that we need to work harder. This whole idea of working a 8-hour day and a 40-hour work week. I mean, you brought up other countries earlier. The first time I was to Italy was in 1995, and they do a 30-hour work week. They work 6 hours a day. But that is something that we should strive to be doing. We should not be striving to go out there and you break your back and you got to do it until you're 65 years old to collect a retirement that your body's too hurt for you to enjoy anyway. I think it's a very strange thing. And there is a massive difference in working and having a job. And if you give us 20 years in Oregon, you go through an apprenticeship of any kind, you give 20 years of work, we will give you a full retirement, just like the military does. And the rest of the people that go into an office and wear a suit and a tie, like I do, that hang out in air conditioners, like I do, they're going to put in the full time. But it should not be viewed the same. And it never should have been viewed the same. Those guys out there breaking their back and those guys in ditches and hanging off the sides of buildings should not be treated the same as a guy going into the office telling them to do it.
The problem with a lot of these states, especially blue states, is that there is a mismanagement and a misuse of taxpayer dollars.
Of course.
Especially in California.
Yeah.
I know you guys are in Oregon, but in California, they don't want you to work. They want you to rely on the government, because the more you rely on the government and vote blue, the more they'll pay you to stay home.
You know, that guy's going to be president.
Oh, God.
He's the best politician.
Please don't say that.
He is the best politician I've seen.
He was good.
Chael, don't
He's
say
a
that,
good
bro.
speaker.
I will put him up there with Clinton, Obama. As far as a politician goes.
Did
he
you
is
watch his interview with Sean Ryan?
Yes.
Please don't say that.
He's captivating though.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's good.
Well, hey, that was on Sean Ryan, by the way, to know what time it was. I mean, Sean Ryan let all sorts of stuff slide. Newsom made a point, and he was so proud of the point that they went after Florida, that Florida went first on the lockdowns. And it goes, well, if you went second, you came to the same conclusion that they did. It just took you longer. Oh, by the way, going second means you got led. And he made this huge deal. DeSantis in Florida went first. We were second. And he was trying to, it was like from a sign of strength. And Sean should have called him on that. Hey, you don't get credit for that. Another thing was the kids going in and changing their gender, and Newsom sitting back. And he looked great when he said, hey, well, I got it. As a father of a 9-year-old, I get it. But he never actually said, and Ryan should have pinned him down. Can they do it or not? You said they could do it. Now you're saying you get it. Is it yes or no? And that's one of the problems you run into with politicians is they're very scared to say. It set Trump apart, ended up winning. Kamala was the far other side where she didn't even attempt to answer the questions. But the people aren't paying attention. You know, one of the dumbest things a politician says is when he puts his own district over and goes, well, the people of Oregon are smart. I think they're going to know better. No. I guarantee they don't know better. I'm surrounded by dum-dums. It's how we got here in the first place. Stand back, vote for me, and follow me blindly. If I want your opinion, I'll beat it out of you. I don't want your opinion. And I've already got this figured out. Now follow me blindly.
But see, here's the thing with people like Gavin Newsom, right? Somebody like a Sean Hannity couldn't even manage this guy, tame this guy, as far as getting him to admit to anything.
Sure.
Sean Ryan is a newbie compared to Sean Hannity. The only person that I think could possibly manhandle him would maybe be a Tucker Carlson.
No, Corolla did.
Corolla did with that 1 point.
Dude, if Gavin Newsom sat with Adam Carolla for an entire hour, I think Adam Carolla would chew him up and spit him out.
It's hard to do. I seen where Carolla's tried, and Carolla definitely has a mastery of the topics, but Gavin's a politician. I mean, he looks good. He shows up. His hair's he looks the part. He knows when to smile. Lately, he's been throwing profanity in there as a way of like being hip. I mean, I'm just sharing for you. If you think you're going to take intelligence and pass that to the people that have the power, you're going to get Newsom. The people are dum-dums, and they have the right to be. A person that's out there working all day should not have to worry about what's going on at the state capitol. He should not have to worry about what's going on in Sacramento. They should have faith and trust that their neighbors who they send to do are going to do a good job. But the reality is that they don't. And the guy that's right is the guy that goes on TV with a straight face and says it. That's the guy who's right.
But you see what he's done in California. You're right above us. And you've seen the shithole that California has become.
Of course.
You don't think everybody outside of California is going to be like, well, you couldn't even manhandle or manage California. How do you expect to run the United States?
No, he'll walk through the primary. I don't know if a J.D. Vance or, there's people that could beat him. Dana White could beat him if Dana ever jumped on a ballot, which I don't think is possible. Don Jr. could beat him. But I don't know if they're going to be on a ballot. All I'm telling you is through the primary, through the AOCs and the Gretchen Whitmers, there's no Democrat that can touch Newsom.
See, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about Newsom possibly going through the primaries, becoming the Democratic nominee.
Yeah.
And the right thing to do, and I think, again, I'm not a politician, but I truly do believe that if J.D. Vance is sent to California and they tell him, listen, fix the border crisis, fix the housing issue, and fix the homeless crisis, and set California straight, what'll happen is if or when J.D. Vance decides to run for president and gets through the primary and is against Gavin Newsom, his ammunition right there will be, I fixed California when you couldn't do
Sure.
it. That's
In an ideal
that's a
world, you're
checkmate.
right. But
That's a checkmate.
That's not going to work. I mean, look, they tried it with ICE. What happened? What was going on with the news about California? Trump is
A racist.
Dismantling families, and he's ripping apart families, and there was nothing positive about it.
Well, I mean,
And
they gave us shit for it because all we said was ICE is a federal agency. ICE knows who they're going after, and they're deporting people who have committed crimes and who have entered the country illegally and haven't done their papers. And people were giving us shit. They're ripping apart families. Well, there was one guy, he said, well, my uncle has been here for 20 years and he's a taxpayer. He's this, he's that. Well, I'm like, dude, if your uncle has been here for 20 years and he hasn't gotten his papers done, he deserves to be deported.
Sure.
But it's like, okay, that's now there's another divide that's created in the country. Now it's not only the alphabet people, it's not the BLM movement. Now it's immigration as well.
Sure.
what do you think they'll do if he does? Let's say JD Vance comes here and takes care of the homeless issue. They'll find a way. Oh, well, you're sending them to mental asylums. They're not mental. They just need housing. Or if he tries to fix, what was the other issue you said? Homelessness.
I said the housing issue.
How do you fix the housing issue?
You talked about the homeless crisis. Why would JD get the credit for that, though? If JD Vance came here and fixed another governor's state and that governor allowed him in, then the government would take the bow. Why would Vance take credit?
Well,
what's a vice president ever done?
I mean, Kamala Harris was the border czar, right?
Sure.
She was in charge of the border
Until she wasn't. Yeah, she denied that claim.
Yeah, yes, until she wasn't.
She was stated to be the border czar.
If JD Vance is constantly holding Newsom accountable to fix certain things, I think he could take credit for it.
It'd be tough. I'm not quite sure how that way. I mean, and that's just mastering of the media. That's not a reality of who went in and did it. But I just think that Gavin Newsom is too savvy. I don't think that he would let JD do that. I mean, I've been around a long time. I can't tell you one thing that a vice president's ever done. And I think that JD is changing that. I think that Dick Cheney might have even changed that for his time, but they never got credit for it. And Newsom would be very good at making sure that he took the bow, is the way I see it. But he's going to go far. I mean, it really would take a Dana White, a John Trump Jr. to beat him. I don't know. I know the Republicans are very big on Vance, and he's got my support for now, but I don't know how well Vance does. Vance's claim to fame is that he sits and argues with the people that are asking him questions, and that's supposed to show backbone. And he does it pretty well, but that shtick will only take you so far. At some point when you play a tough guy, you got to whip somebody's ass.
I wouldn't be surprised if Newsom sits there one of these days, and after the interview or even, let's say, the interaction we have, you're like, man, this guy's actually a pretty cool guy. We should have some drinks with him. Because I think he knows how to play that. He's probably a very, cool guy to hang out with, have some wine with, have a cigar with.
I think once these are off.
Yeah, but then once his, he's back to his office and doing what he needs to do, he does what's best for his party.
Sure.
He doesn't care about.
Because we're in talks with Newsom's press team, and we're trying to set it up where he'll potentially be sitting where you are today, and give him some hard questions. I mean, because we're Californians. We're experiencing what California has become, and we've lived in California all of our lives.
The Burbank mayor, or former mayor, now current councilman, right? Constantine Anthony. Yep. We made him very famous with his when he was spanking a drag queen.
No, he was spanked by a drag queen.
Or he was spanked by a drag queen. Yeah, we made him famous.
Willfully, he bent over.
Oh yeah. We were on Jesse Waters because of that as well.
Right.
Jesse Waters reached out to us and we thought he was pranking us.
So this guy is like a mini version of Newsom. When he sits here, and he's been on our show 3 times, every time he gets better at it. Like when we're done, he's one of those guys you want to hang out with.
Yeah.
But he even admits off camera that, listen, I got to do what I got to do to climb up the ladder.
Sure.
He says it. He says, I am a democratic socialist.
Sure.
He doesn't say I'm a Democrat. He openly says I am a democratic socialist.
Yes.
I believe in Marxism.
And imagine if he sells himself, what Newsom can do.
Yeah, but you see where that would be perfectly normal. I mean, this is a job for these guys. They don't have something else to do. I mean, I could even just go back to Barack Obama, but every Friday at 5, if he was not getting money from a taxpayer, he had no job. Hillary Clinton never ran a city, state, or a company, ever. And I mean, if you're a politician, he's telling you the truth when he says, I got to do what I got to do to climb the ladder. It's where you have the reluctant leader, whether that was General Washington way back in the day. So the stories are told, or that's Donald Trump now, somebody that's coming from a better life to a worse life to serve. That is something that people have to really consider. And when they take somebody whose life is going to get better if they're elected to office, they would have to question their candor. How serious are they being? I thought that was a major feather for Donald Trump, and he never got it. He never quite knew how to get that from people. But when you come from a gold-plated penthouse in New York City to a dump known as Washington, D.C., I mean, I'll tell you the first thing I'm going to do when I'm governor, I'm going to move the governor's mansion to my own house in Westland, Oregon. We got this dump called Salem. Salem's going to get annexed right out of Oregon, the same as I'm going to do to Portland. Vancouver can have Portland. Well, as a matter of fact, Washington can have Portland. I'm going to come in and I'm going to take Vancouver. It's going to be a very nice trade.
You're going to take Vancouver.
Yeah, I'm going to start taxing Vancouver.
I think Brittany's
That's another
impressed.
thing that people don't do enough of. They don't come in and they don't take things.
I think
in this world, you either need the money to buy it or you need the men to take it. And I will be taking things. I will be taking what needs to come back to us from Oregon. The Oregon Trail is very real. And we did not open these pathways and let these good old boys come in with a Bible in one hand and a 6-shooter on the other, just in case that other guy didn't really fall. We didn't do that to have these purple hairs with nose rings that don't have a job. You come to Oregon, you're going to work in Oregon, and it's not going to be something excessive. And I'm not going to tell you got to break your back and you got to follow the rules. No, you don't. 40 hours a week is too much, but you're going to work and you're going to do it for 20 years in some kind of a trained labor. You're going to get, I mean, I heard you say very respectfully, but I heard you say the homeless crisis. I would love to hear more about that. What's the crisis? A guy can't sleep outdoors? What's the problem? My kids are born rich and they don't own houses. Like, what is the homeless crisis?
The homeless crisis is, see, I wish you guys were here a little bit longer. We would take you to Skid Row and you would see what the crisis is.
I've seen it though. I'm just
It's
wondering
terrible. It's horrible.
They have it in Portland.
But I'm asking what you would do about it. Because I know what I have to do about it. I have to pay $33,000 a year of my hard-earned money. $33,000 is what our family has to pay to Multnomah County for homeless. But the homeless just keeps going up. Now what they want to do, and Newsom's behind this idea as well as this crazy guy out of New York, is they want to give houses to the homeless. They want to give, if somebody's renting a house or it's vacant, they want to give it to them.
They will turn it into a drug house.
Sure.
That's what they're going to turn it into. You don't give somebody who wants to live on the streets a home.
Yeah.
We have a commercial building just a couple miles away from here. And there's literally an encampment right in front of our commercial building. And when I called LA's homeless division to get them out, the first thing they said was, is the encampment touching the building? Like, what do you mean touching the building? It's on the sidewalk. He goes, if it's not attached to the building, I can't do anything.
Sure.
I'm like, it is attached to the building. I need somebody to get out here. So they get out there and we go knock on one of the tents. He gets out. I go, you got to pack up and leave. Here's the homeless department. They're telling you to get out as well. He goes, well, I'm not breaking any laws. I'm just here on the sidewalk. I go, where's your buddy? He goes, oh, he's at work. I'm like, what do you mean he's at work? He goes, yeah, he's at work. He goes to work and then he'll hit the gym. He'll shower at the gym and then he'll come back and he'll sleep here.
Yep.
So what the hell is actually going on? It's a housing issue and it's a drug epidemic as well. So there's two things going on right there. Now, who you're going to give the housing to, you got to screen these people. If it's a drug, he's going to turn it into a drug house. But if it's some guy who's can't pay the rent, like that gentleman who went to work, took a shower at the gym, and then came back and just slept there, that's who you'll give the house to. But it's a mismanagement of tax dollars, Chael. That's what it is.
It seems like a nice guy thing to say. It seems like something that some bleeding heart would say, that I'm going to give a house to a homeless. What about the plumber that has got a license and he's got 3 kids? What about the plumber that works 40 hours a week? What about him, but he can't cover his rent? If I've got to give the house to the homeless, or I got to give the house to a plumber that works his ass off, but he hasn't yet come up with a down payment, I'm giving it to the plumber.
Well, no, yeah, of course. You prioritize it.
You say, of course, and I appreciate you saying that, but there seems to be something very sweet about somebody coming out and saying, I'm going to do this for the homeless. Nobody's ever, you tell me one person you know that's died of starvation. So once we get the fact that they're not starving to death, once we get the fact that they're getting Medicare, once we get the fact, I meant medical, once we get the fact that they're going to be clothed and they're going to have a pillow, let them sleep outside. to your point, you have a drug problem and you have a mental health crisis, but my family has to kick in $33,000 a year. That's real money. I had to fight Anderson Silva for 25 minutes. I got paid $32,000. We got to kick in $30,000 a year and the homeless rate goes up, but they're not starving. They have medical. They have a bedroll. If they want to sleep outside, leave them there. Quit acting like it's some kind of a crisis and quit acting like you're going to do something about it. You want to get a guy a home? Get a guy a home that works 40 hours a week, contributes to society, and still can't afford a home. And by the way, we're not even giving him a home. These are just words. These are just words to be nice. But every 4 years when somebody's got to run for office, it's one of the first things they do is have to talk about the homeless. And it's like, okay, I'd like you to just go a little further. Tell me what the problem is. Nobody's ever starved to death in front of me. And they wouldn't starve to death in front of you guys.
No, they're never going to starve to death. They're never going to starve to death. What it is, and I'm going to backtrail a little bit. It is a mental health and a drug issue. That's what it is.
Yes.
Majority of the people that are homeless are due to mental health and due to drug abuse.
And there's nowhere to go.
So what
I
do
have
you
family members that do this? They get it. They get 411. What is it? What am I saying?
5150.
5150. They get in the hospital. They're there for 3 days. They get kicked out. They got nowhere to go.
Yep.
It's terrible.
So then what do you do to those people, Brittany?
I don't know. I believe that we should, I mean, they closed mental hospitals, obviously, because of abuse and them being treated poorly. But there's got to be somewhere.
Yeah.
There's got to be somewhere that we designate where, hey, you guys aren't well. You can't take care of yourself. I mean, they are the ones that can't. They're the weaker.
Sure.
They can't take care of themselves. It's terrible.
But every 4 years
There's got
this
to be
comes
somewhere
up.
they can go.
My vigor in looking at you with the crazy eye isn't to take out because you said that there's a homeless crisis. My vigor in looking at you with the crazy eye and the tone is because every 4 years, some jerk that wants to get elected for himself will go down and he'll visit Skid Row and he'll act like, hey,
That's
it's you
PR
and me.
bullshit, man.
It's PR BS. And it's like, at some point, just stop doing that. I don't really need to hear how you're going to help the homeless guy. I'd much rather hear how you're going to help the journeyman. You're going to help the guy with the degree. You're going to help the waitress, the nurse that also don't have a house. I just don't get the concept. And, squatters' rights is very real. If you ever become a landlord and you learn about squatters' rights, you're going to wish that you would have put it in a 401k and not into real estate. And there's nothing that gets done about these things. And, I just think that Gavin Newsom's, he's going to be your guy because these things aren't a reality. Like the things I'm telling you, these things aren't true. Nobody's going down to help the homeless guy, but Gavin's going to show up on Skid Row and act like he helped the homeless guy.
Just like he showed up in Altadena and Palisades.
Yes. And he's going to act and he's going to
Yeah.
pretend and he's going to be a better performer than other people.
I mean, look at it this way. Just recently, they were going to pass a law for the fires in Pacific Palisades where the government was going to try to buy the land for low-income housing.
Yep.
And they put a stop to that. The people protested against it and they put a stop to it. But that's always the intention, is how can the government benefit from this? If there was no chaos, if there was no homelessness, if there wasn't all these issues, then politicians wouldn't have anything to do.
Sure.
Because ultimately, the number one problem, in my opinion, in California is cost of living. I mean, around the country, but especially in California. Today, college graduate cannot afford a house. They will never, ever become a homeowner because with a couple $100,000 in tuition, with all the taxes, state taxes, the cost of home ownership and the interest rates, and you can't even get homeowners insurance. There's no way a 25, 30-year-old is ever going to have an opportunity to own a home.
Well, they got to stop majoring in sociology and liberal arts and all these crappy degrees.
Doesn't matter what you major in, man. Today, you can make $200,000 a year. You cannot buy a house in California. It's become impossible. You know that. You're a real estate agent. You just cannot. Unless you go to some rural area where nobody wants to live there, then yeah.
Well, that's where the crack houses are.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, it's very tough. AOC is a very interesting one. She's a leading politician, but she was a 26-year-old cocktail waitress when she gets the job. That was only like 6 years ago.
Literally. It was pre-COVID.
She's now worth $29 million.
How?
She makes $281,000 a year and has to disclose what she invests in. She's worth $29 million. And not only has she not answered that or explained it, there's nobody that's even asked her. Like a Liz Warren or somebody down there that's out banging the drum of corruption has never turned to her and said, can you explain to people? Can you just tell them what a GNO is and just let them know how you've got $29 million? They've never touched it, and they never will touch that topic. And I think that's a real problem.
Well, Chael, they don't even ask how Nancy Pelosi became a multimillionaire.
Sure.
Or Elizabeth Warren, as you just said, became a multimillionaire.
Sure.
They don't ask any of these questions to
Right.
these people.
But
and when
we
they
needed
do,
to see Trump's tax returns because we wanted to know if he paid his taxes.
Yes. But this is just play. This is just, I contend if you know the history of professional wrestling, you will know everything that you need to know about the U.S. government. And it was in 1989 that Vince McMahon got sworn in trial and was asked, and people thought wrestling was real. It was sanctioned in 39 different states. 39 different state legislatures signed by governors believed that professional wrestling was real. And they would oversee a referee with an earpiece who just got hit over the head by another licensed wrestler also wearing an earpiece. Vince McMahon, under oath, has to confess that it is not a competition, it's a cooperation. And he believed he was going bankrupt. He believed that the cat is out of the bag and we cannot do this. He pivoted to sports entertainment and ended up making it just fine. But the point is, of those 39 Congress, Senate, governors, those guys and gals are still alive and well. They're just in Washington, D.C. to this day. They did not know professional wrestling wasn't real until Vince took the stand and told them. And I mean, we got theater going on right now with this whole, like, we're going to arrest Obama and we're going to put Clapper in jail. I mean, these things are silly. These things aren't real. They're not being done by serious people.
it's a distraction.
It's a distraction.
It's literally from the Epstein lists to the Obama being thrown in jail. All of this is a distraction to something else.
Sure.
Today's show is sponsored by the law offices of Arman Grigorian. If you're injured in a car accident and need proper guidance and representation, reach out to the law offices of Arman Grigorian, 1-818-404-0333.
Remember Avenatti? Remember how good Michael Avenatti was? He was the guy, he represented Stormy Daniels.
Yeah.
But he got jammed up. He's away in a federal prison.
Mm-hmm.
But
For
he was
what?
making all these claims. He ultimately did a shakedown in my backyard. He did a shakedown of Nike, and he did it himself. He's the one that made the phone call, and he told Nike, if you do not do this, if you do not wire this money by today, I'm going to tell the public. And it was something that Nike had done wrong. And Nike, instead of covering it up, went to the FBI. So they just recorded him doing it, but then, I mean, it's like the House of Cards. When they looked into him shaking down Nike for $20 million, they started to find that he was stealing from all of his clients, and he had private jets, and he was just an overall very bad guy. And at any rate, he's doing some time, but I mean, he strung it out to where they were talking about him running for the presidency in 2020, where he was like getting a political name, where he's standing shoulder to shoulder with Barack Obama on stages. But he would make simple claims, like he would take a picture of a DVD. Nobody has any idea what's on it, if anything, and then he would tweet it out, alluding to the fact that he had a DVD evidence of Trump with this hooker named Stormy Daniels. And he was just alluding to these things. I think
That's very
stripper,
clever.
hooker. I didn't mean to miscategorize, but well, I didn't actually. I meant to get it right, but the point was nobody
Porn
knew
star.
what was on that. Yeah, so now he's on CNN. He's on CNN and he's telling his story to Jake Tapper, even though the whole thing is made up. And I was just looking at Ghislaine Maxwell and going, man, she didn't play this at all. She just laid down and took her sentence.
The $1 million question here is, I wonder if during Trump's first presidential run, if that locker room talk about him grabbing a woman, sorry, Brittany, by the
Sure.
was never released, do you think the media would ever?
They would have found something else.
Do you really think so?
By the way, that was the funniest thing ever.
Have you ever tried that?
Oh my God, it was so funny.
I'm here trying to be courteous.
Have you ever tried with in my school, we did it by base. Okay, you get the first base was a kiss, and then second base had it, and third, and then you made it home. Have you ever tried? Have you ever led with grabbing by the?
God. I think any guy that would just be in shock. Every woman would be like, yeah.
Brittany's sitting there. You saying that while your wife is sitting there is making me uncomfortable.
She made me wait till I was married to her. I didn't grab her by the nothing.
She made you wait.
Yes, and I was 36 years old.
You
That's
were
a long
36
time.
when you lost.
Yes. I don't really want the boys to know that, by the way. That's more of like, just
Okay, this is what I'm curious
This is
about.
locker room talk.
So this is okay. Hold on. This is
But
what
I
I'm curious
couldn't
about.
imagine that you lead with the Ryan Yeister. You put your
I don't
Very
believe you.
funny.
I don't
Really
believe him.
funny.
You believe that he lost it at 36?
You believe
Oh,
he lost
shit.
it at 36. Okay, don't say anything.
Yes. Yeah.
Can I come back?
I'm a
Am I
mother.
You
I
can come
don't
back.
do any
Yeah.
of this. I was embarrassed when I was pregnant and my father knew what I had to do to get
Yeah, I'm
there
from a
pregnant.
small town, though. We
don't
all
talk
know
about that
each
kind of
other's
stuff.
business.
Are you sure you guys aren't Armenian?
Yeah,
Was that what
there's
Armenians
nobody
do?
in my town.
Well, a traditional. You guys are very similar to a very traditional Armenian family,
Oh, we're just
where
hillbilly,
it's
really.
very conservative. Like the whole wife virgin being embarrassed to, you just said it, like, to tell my dad I'm pregnant,
Oh
or
God.
Yeah.
Like even to go out with the Armenian girl, especially like,
if she has a brother.
like 10, 15, 20 years ago, you had to go meet with the brother or the dad or somebody and say, listen, I want to date your daughter. Just so you know, she's going to be with me when she's coming home at 10, 11. And it's not, you couldn't keep her till 2 a.m. Like,
Sure.
you had to take them home. They had a curfew. And that's how we grew up. There was none of this, we're going to fly to Vegas for 3.
No
Oh my
swiping
God.
left and
Yeah,
right.
There was none of that back then.
No.
I couldn't imagine.
I lived with my parents until I moved in with him.
Wow.
And then he sold me like cattle to my dad.
So here's what I want to ask you.
But she had to move, and I couldn't leave the state.
This is fascinating. What was it like in the gym with the boys?
Oh, it was quite a thing. It was quite a thing. And I
Not
went
to
through
make
it-
you uncomfortable,
No,
Chael.
Oh my God,
it's
it's
quite
so
all right.
uncomfortable.
Well, I went through it a couple of times. I was on a college wrestling team. We all know each other's business. And, and was the odd man out there. And then, I had to do it over again when I got into professional sport. But in the MMA gym, they were more confused. Like they would get very matter of fact. There was other guys in college who either hadn't had that opportunity or just made the choice not to do that. Not many, but there were. In MMA, they were more confused. Like, what do you do if you how do you cap a night off? How do you they genuinely did not understand how you would start kissing a girl, for example, and then stop kissing the girl without that having happened. Like that would be the conclusion to the makeout session.
Oh my
And
God.
I actually would
Yeah,
get
and you
asked
wouldn't go
these
to home
questions.
base, basically.
Yes.
That's what they were asking.
Yes, they're asking me how you go to first or how you go to second, and then you walk back to the dugout. How do you do that? But they were genuinely like, they weren't asking me from a teasing me standpoint. They were genuinely wondering, how does that activity start and then stop? I'm genuinely wondering if a guy is cool enough to lead with that. I was not. I would bump into her, then I'd feel her out, then eventually I'd slide down to her hand,
Okay,
and
all
I'd be
right.
making
Take it
progress.
easy.
But I'm just saying, I could not imagine like you just grab them by that. I didn't have that kind of courage, and frankly, I wasn't hanging out with those kind of girls.
This was.
This is unexpected.
Were you? I feel like did I put you in a bad position? Did you?
No.
No. Did you lead with that every now and then?
No, I didn't.
All right.
I didn't.
You probably did it more like with bases. Start with
Yes,
first base.
absolutely,
And then you come to-
100%.
Nobody gets to third without hitting second and first.
Yes.
Nobody at my junior high did. What
No.
middle school?
Look, if
The only
You
place
live,
you-
you own a hotel.
well, wait.
You
If
can do
you
whatever want.
if you get to third base or even home plate on the first date, I think.
No, I mean, look,
that's
if
an
you
issue.
if you're at a
It's a
club and
problem.
everybody's drinking, yeah, you don't technically start at first base. You start maybe at second or even third at a club, and
Wow.
that's a different environment.
Yeah, and then you take them home to mom and dad and go, "Hey, mom,
Yeah.
hey,
Oh
dad."
my God.
Yeah, but those are not the girls you take home and say,
Sure.
Mom and Dad, we're pregnant, and
Well,
So
you'd
you
be
did not
surprised with
make a
some of the guys in
housewife.
today's
Yeah.
society.
But at a club,
Oh my
the
God.
music's going. You just
Yeah,
reach down and you grab.
You
Really?
know how it was,
Guys,
especially
he really wants you to
especially
take
like
the
in the
club.
early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, right? There's 1,000 people on the dance floor, and just 5 guys. You're going there with your friends, and you're in the middle of the dance
Trumping
floor,
everybody.
and there's like 6, 7 girls there. So you just go, you start kind of
All right.
meddling in, and
I've
It's
seen
called
a little.
some
of
of
this.
them will they'll look at you, they'll be like, "No, go away." Some of them will turn around and
Uh-huh.
go, "Okay, you're fine, come on in." You
That's called freaking.
know. But I mean that, and then boom, next thing you
Yes.
know, you're in second or third base.
No, I
Oh
understand.
my God.
I attempted to freak on a girl in Mexico because I thought we were far enough away, and it turned out she was a grade younger than me from the same high school.
Oh my God.
No, where you come up from behind, and they grind in, they grind in, and all of a sudden you're, it's called freaking.
So in Mexico, you even couldn't do it, huh?
I tried, then she turned out to be a classmate of mine from like a year down, and her brother and I were on the same team. Yeah, it was the whole thing was and I said I was joking, just fooling around.
Wow.
What are you gonna say
But
when they tell
I
you
bet
you
she
can't
liked you.
freak on? Oh, she
Oh,
was
she
into
loved
it.
you.
Could
She
you
did.
imagine? She
I
wanted to
know.
move into that governor's mansion.
She loves you now.
Yeah, she's trying to come up.
Is she still around? Is she still in Oregon?
She was a perfectly
I don't know.
nice
Don't
girl.
talk about
I
this
hope that
whore.
she was. No, I
I'm
hope that
not.
she was.
No.
She did nothing wrong. She was dancing, and I was just trying to. It's called freaking, though. It's called freaking.
I heard whore somewhere.
I know.
Yeah, but freaking is still different than grabbing by
Doesn't matter, man. She was a whore. I'm on Brittany's side on here.
Yeah.
They're all whores. Not me. I never was.
No, I didn't say you. For
I
God's
love
sakes.
I love the connection you guys have and the way she's able to like kind of tame you in a sense, you know.
Do your wives and girlfriend do they Facebook stalk your ex? Like, do you have to give up names of exes and then they go online?
I wish you guys were here for a little bit longer in
Okay.
LA. We would have loved to have like dinner with the wives. Like, for example, my wife, if I mention a client's name and why they're giving me a hard time,
Yeah.
she goes freaking FBI mode.
I respect
Yeah.
that.
Oh, dude.
That's love.
She'll go deep into the web and just find every little thing. They're this, they're that. They don't even like. There's this one deal that we're doing in a nearby city, and I'm like, oh my god, these people are driving me crazy. They don't even live there. This escrow's like just it's like unnecessary drama, dude. Literally a couple hours later, she goes, they don't even live there. They're in Michigan, and they lived there for about a year, and then it was a rental property for like. I'm like, babe, stop. Just stop. She goes, well, I like stuff like this. I love digging into like information and
Sure.
like doing my FBI work.
Oh,
So,
we can do it quick.
and I think it's all the women that are, sorry, Brittany, overly protective.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Sure. The best kind.
And I think
Called
and
possessive.
I think they're looking out for us.
Yeah.
But I mean, how do you feel about it?
I like a crazy woman. When I go to sleep at night, I don't want to be positive. I want to be confident, but not positive. She's not going to stab me. Like,
Jeez.
I want a kind of woman that will put steel to you in the middle of the night.
So you
Like,
want to be
not
able
for
to-
sure. I don't
Romantic.
want to die in the middle. Of the
Okay.
night. I'm just saying I'm not positive that she won't. That's all I'm saying.
So you're basically okay with
romantic.
waking up, opening your eyes, and seeing Brittany on top with a knife, possibly
Yes.
around your neck,
Yes.
That's
and telling you, who is Ashley? You were saying Ashley in your sleep.
Yes. That happened once.
No shit.
Alicia.
Alicia?
oh
Yeah.
my god.
It was a mistake. There was a girl, her name was Alicia, and get the big boobies and the booty. And they're kind of like, she's Alicia 2.0. Is Alicia going to see this? We're going to have some. I should have used an acronym. I should have called her
Is
Cindy.
she a whore as well?
She was a perfectly nice girl.
Biggest whore.
I think she teaches school somewhere now.
Gross.
This is why I wanted to have both of you guys
You
on.
never know
'Cause
what's
the,
real.
the dynamic is I love the
so
dynamic.
fucking. And
Where
do you want to
does
know what
the-
I'll do? Can I cuss on here?
Please.
We'll talk about things like this, and I'll be like, "Oh, who's that?" So this is I'll remember. He'll be out of town for like a week, and I'll go, "You fucking piece of shit! I can't believe you died." And then then he'll go, "What?" And I go, "I can't believe you did that with so and so." He goes, "I did more than that," and I'll just have to laugh because it's just
Yeah, I got to like steer into it.
boys
do you
are
guys,
so gross.
do you guys know what a DM is? It's a
Of
direct,
course.
it's a social media thing. Okay.
Is that like AOL or
I don't know. Twitter. But
It's
they all
not
have.
like the pigeon, right? Where
Yeah.
you wrap the thing around the pigeon's leg and let it-
Yeah, old school. Yeah, but they have it. They have it on Instagram. It's this thing
Yeah.
called direct message. At any rate, randomly, not very often, I will go and I'll copy and paste. I'll write something. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Whatever it is, I'll copy and paste, and then I'll just go and I'll send it through like 20 people in a DM box. A girl pops up here or there. Who's going to know the difference? She's getting the same message as everybody else is going to get. Well, you want to know who knows the difference? Her. When she goes through my phone, can I tell the story?
Oh yeah.
Rolls the window down and pitches my phone out the side of the road. Now, there's a little something that I got a little part of called Bitcoin, and it's on this phone. No password, no face ID, and I'm explaining to her why we need to get that phone back.
No, I stopped and I knew. I said, "God damn it, Chael, pull the truck over. I have to get our Bitcoins on that phone." So I make him pull over and I run in the bushes. So it was actually me.
So then I'm up and I've got to turn around to come back because we're on a bridge. What happened before I got back? What happened with you in the bushes?
Well, the fire truck came, the ambulance, and the police came.
Why?
It turns out when you throw an iPhone, Siri thinks you've been in a wreck and calls you emergency services.
Oh my God, it
Really?
was so funny.
Yeah.
So
I didn't
she's
know that.
climbing
Shout
in the
out to the
trees.
Westwood Police. I
Yeah.
love you guys.
So she's
Very on
in the
top of
tree.
it.
She's doing one of these, and she's got all three: the ambulance, the fire truck, and the police behind her. And she's got to turn around like, "Hey, are you guys here for me?"
And I go, hey,
Because they've got an alert
what's
on the
going
phone.
on? And they're like, are you okay? I go, my silly goose son.
The only
Little,
thing that a
threw
future
it out
first
the
lady
window.
should do, she lied.
No, I fibbed.
It's the right thing to do.
Well, if you're
It
going
was
to
a
cheat your
fib.
way,
No,
then
that's
she
a
should
fib.
lie.
That was
That's
a
a fib.
fib.
It was
That's right.
And then I want to know what I did? I made him a sandwich. We got home and made a
Yeah.
sandwich. That's how quick our fights last.
Yeah.
I have no staying power.
How long have you guys been married again?
12 years.
12 years. Well, he said 13.
13, 2011.
This is going to be a fascinating conversation when you guys try to figure out when your anniversary is.
No, we got
June
married
29th.
June 29th,
June 29th.
2013.
2013.
Yeah, that's 12 years.
Yes. I was
Does it
just
really
saying
matter now?
when we met.
Yeah.
No, a little girl from the trailer park, though. She's going to the governor's mansion. This is quite a success story, this girl.
Don't
They
say
wrote a
trailer
song about her.
park.
From the trailer
Here's
park
your
to the
one
governor's.
chance, Fancy, don't let me down.
He does tease me
Here's your
about that.
one
That means
chance,
I'm just
Fancy,
grateful
don't
for
let me
everything I have.
down.
Jerk.
Forgive me for what I do.
No, tell him what you told me when I first met. He's like, you are everything that I never wanted.
That was meant as a compliment.
That is the biggest insult in the world.
That is not a compliment.
That is not
I
a
had-
compliment. And I'm like, sitting there so self-conscious. Okay, I
Okay.
don't come from like,
No.
a bunch of money. I don't have a pedigree. I don't have a high education. Like, I was just like, this is awful.
Yes. No, what the point that I was trying to make, okay, and I made it too quickly. The point I was attempting to make is sometimes a guy specifically will spend his whole life chasing something, and once he gets it, realize that doesn't make me happy.
Yeah.
I was after the wrong thing. And that's what I was attempting to tell her, is that she was a unique and special treat. And
So what
not
was it
I
about her
had
that
been-
you were like, okay, I'm going to marry you?
Come on, Armando. Come on. You can't see it.
I see it, but how about everything
It
else?
starts with a D, bro.
God.
Oh, it's a dirty virgin.
You can't do this.
Is this on?
anymore.
Are we? Oh,
It's
In
not
the
recording,
middle
don't
of
worry.
we were on
It doesn't
commercial.
hit like it used to. You got to stop.
yeah. I got to work on the delivery a little bit
Yeah.
more. Newsom could have delivered it and gotten votes. All right.
He is captivating.
He's
he really is.
good.
I don't like any of his.
You have to be
captivating.
a large level of pussy to go into that job. I mean, to come out here and do the things that he does.
I feel like we're gonna get sued.
Yes. Well, but I'm just saying, like, there's a level of macho that doesn't do well in politics. He does not represent the macho. He does not represent the men that other men aspire to be. But he does represent a good voting block.
He's got a good head of hair.
What did I like about her? I enjoy. She's so fun. She is so on top of being.
See, you
a
never know
bomb
when I'm
rocket.
just gonna
She is
kill you.
just a
either.
lot of fun to be around. And she doesn't need sleep. She doesn't do the naps. She's up late and then she's up early in the morning. She's a real morning person. But she was just fun to be around in front of everything else. And then you get to where, she's supportive and makes for a wonderful wife and a great mother. But at the time, she was just incredible company. She was up for anything. She was up for movies. She was up for dinner. She was up to play cards. She was a lot of fun.
Spontaneous at all?
Yeah. And we told a lot of
1000.
laughs, and we TP'd somebody, but
like
it was like a
being
bonding
bored.
experience. I was 30 something. We TP'd this.
TP'd?
Yeah, this girl
That's fun.
left my buddy
That's a
Reese
lost art.
hanging. So we went.
He
and
said
TP'd
30
her.
something though.
Yeah, well, I would have been, because people
I'm-
think that she robbed the cradle, but she's actually younger than me.
What's your gauge gap?
12 years difference. I'm 36.
She's younger
38.
than me.
Well, yeah, no, I know.
You're
I-
1977, right?
Yes.
1989.
Oh, you're 89. Okay.
You knew that she was younger than me.
Yeah. I just
But
wanted to know what the
she
age
looks
gap
older
was.
than you, though.
Yeah, when most people, when they see us, they will think
I'm making a facial
They'll
appointment.
think-
Thanks a lot.
because I look so young, largely due to steroids and growth hormone, but because I look
The PEDs,
so
right?
Wonderful
Yeah,
drug.
yeah, but she's actually younger than me. That's true. Yeah.
No, because
Appreciate that.
so generational. You're a millennial.
Yeah.
He's Gen X.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she's
like
hot,
us.
too. Whatever this word you're saying.
Well, my wife and I'm Gen X. My wife is
Oh,
millennial.
yeah, you're right.
Okay, what's the age difference, you guys?
My wife and I, 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm 80. She's 86.
Yeah. We're 6 months, 7 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
You did that, right?
my wife and I are both millennials. I'm 86. She's 87.
Okay.
So we're 90s kids. We grew up with the Saved by the Bells and the
So
Rugrats and the Power Rangers and all that. But there's a lot of things that her and I will watch on TV and then we'll reminisce.
Yeah.
But you guys are two different generations.
Let's call Newsom. Do you think he'd take the call? Do you guys know him?
If we can get Newsom, would you be down to fly back down to LA?
Oh, yeah.
Are you seriously down?
Oh, absolutely. I would actually enjoy meeting Newsom. I do believe that he is likely, in the absence
He's super charismatic.
of,
I would love
of Don
to meet him.
Jr.
We got to make this work.
or Dana White. Dana White could beat them all, but he didn't want to be president. I'm just throwing that name at you that there are people that can win. This isn't like this big
I would
political thing.
love to see, because we don't want to dabble too much into politics on today's show. We wanted to kind of have both of you and obviously our apologies. We did dabble into the UFC a little bit as well, which will kind of end with that. But I would love to see you sit down with Newsom.
I would love
just
to speak
just
with
to
him.
see how you would pick him apart.
Does he still have a
'cause
podcast or he canceled it?
I don't know, dude.
I think he had it 3 weeks ago. He had it.
Did he?
Yeah, and he was going on other people's. And, it's a little bit of a turnoff when you're running for president and you deny that you're running for president. I just find that to be a turnoff. I would never run for governor and tell people I wasn't. I think.
Because I think there's a rule. The
job.
moment you mention it, there's specific paperwork, or you can't mention it before isn't there some type of rule against that?
There is a law on the way a candidate, which is a legal term, is treated. Now, most people believe that is when you go down and you file with the Secretary of State's office.
Yeah.
I am one of those people. However, there are people like Newsom where that hasn't actually been tested. That hasn't actually gone to the Supreme Court, and they don't want to play with it. But I do think that it's a very unhonorable thing. He's clearly running for president. He has been running for president, and he should say so.
Yeah, I think Kamala is going to be running for California governor.
Do you think that's true? That she'd have to work? Does that girl want to work? I mean, I don't proclaim that she likes her husband or has any children. It's not like she's got a lot of other things to do.
I'm going to show you some.
Want to work?
I'm going to show you some fascinating videos after the show's over with some of the memes that we've made. She's basically, I mean, Brittany said "fuck" on the show. Might as well say it.
Yeah.
She sucked her way to the top.
Sure.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
So it would make
It does.
The way she
It does. It
not
does.
not in politics.
It does happen a lot.
It only happens
That's
a lot.
true.
I know.
With an honorable man. An unhonorable man will take the blowjob and then not promote the woman.
Yeah.
Right? That's even
That's a risk.
that needs to be considered as well.
You know-
There doesn't need to be a discussion. She gives the blow. You give her that's the way this works.
Speaking of that, today I was reading a story. I think it's an older story though. This CEO of a company needed a kidney donation. So one of her employees ends up donating one of her kidneys to him.
Oh my goodness.
And after they've had the successful surgery and everything, I guess it takes a little bit longer to recover because it takes several weeks, if not
Mhm.
months, to recover from the surgery. He ends up firing her for taking too long to recover.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Yes.
This is a joke.
No. It's a story from, I think, 2012 or so. It just popped up
Oh,
Wow.
today, yeah.
oh.
Wow.
And I
That
actually shared
oh.
it with my staff. I said, yesterday I read it. So I sent him the article. I said, happy Sunday, folks.
Oh my
Well,
god.
Warren Buffett's grandson put a proposal together and asked him to fund a business idea after he got out of college, and it was $20,000 investment. And Warren told him, "Thank you."
Oh, he's known for that.
not the
though.
kind of investment I'm looking for.
Yeah,
right
he's
He's-
known for that.
His
She's
kids
absolutely
will
right.
be like, "Will you help me get a new sink?" And he's like, "Absolutely not."
Well,
I
Go
think
get a loan.
Same
Warren
thing
Buff-
happened with things. Gates' daughter recently. She has a startup. And the mom said, if you can go get somebody else to invest first. So because if I invest, it's going to be an emotional
Sure.
investment. Get somebody else, and then I'll put the money later on if you need.
Warren Buffett's kids and grandkids are
like
all on pins and needles,
Yep.
not knowing what's in that will.
I know.
Yeah.
100%. Have you guys seen the movie Knives Out?
Yeah.
You remember what happened with the old man,
Yeah.
right? What he did with his.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen.
But Warren claims that, I mean, whatever it is, he claims to have already told them it's 5 million to the most, or each of them gets $1 million, or he claims that it's already done, and everything else is going to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Until Ashton Kutcher comes out and says, "Gotcha."
Yeah.
But don't you think that's enough
Hulk's
money?
going through that.
5 million?
Yes.
I mean, that's plenty of money. If you're smart, you can make a lot with it. If you're a dumbass, even $500 million is not enough. You're still going to
Blow through it.
blow through drugs and cars and
They say the number one suicide rate is with trust fund babies.
Yeah,
That's what they say. I don't know who keeps data on that, but that's what they say.
but you
That
can see it.
If
I
you
mean-
give a kid those things, you take all of his aspiration and his drive away.
Yeah, because they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
What
They-
is your goal with your kids? I mean, you have money.
Well, I would like my daughter to marry a nice guy. That's very important to me. Well, but that really is important. Like when I shook her father's hand, I understood there was a deal being made. There was a way that I was going to treat her because he was entrusting me with her. And I hope that I meet a young man that believes in that same code. And then my son, I'm getting him ready for his trial. I mean, it's going to feel like tomorrow he'll be in front of a jury and
On probation.
pleading his case and stand in front of 12 people not smart enough to get out of jury duty. And, I think he'll do all right though. We'll get him ready. I'll have him in a nice suit, get him in like a tracksuit, like a velour or something like that with some white tennis shoes.
I'm curious.
He'll keep his mouth shut.
Is your dad's personality similar to his?
Oh yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
He's a gangster.
Yeah.
Do you know why? They always say that young girls or young women, when they're looking for their significant other or the guy that they want to spend the rest of their lives with, a lot of them look for certain, I would say, characteristics of their father.
Yep.
So that's why I asked. I'm like, is he similar to your dad's personality?
Steve Smith walks around with a cowboy hat and just no rules.
I see her father in me.
Yeah.
When we.
So you guys bond very well.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, like that.
And
She told him, you got to come to Oregon. This guy's on probation. And her dad was on speaker and he goes, cool. What did he do? But he really said like he was genuinely interested.
But your dad must be young though. No?
My dad, I have 2 older brothers. So but my dad's my best friend. Like I call him every morning. I drop the kids off. I call my dad.
See, how's your relationship with your daughter? What kind of dynamic do you two have?
Oh, we're very tight. We're getting tighter though. She was so close to mom. We're finally getting, like, I ask her on dates, will you go on a date with me? And I take her somewhere, and she hasn't let me take her on a date yet. She says only if mom comes, or specifically I can take her to Target, which in her mind means shopping spree. But at any rate, I agreed to one of these Target dates, and I picked her up at the door, and I had the flower and the whole bit, and she was very cute, but she wanted to get home. She wanted to get back home to mom. Aww. So she's not quite ready to do that yet. My son and I, meanwhile, we went out to WrestleMania and brought the girls, but they stayed in the hotel. They didn't want to walk over and go to the venue. Hey, you guys were talking a moment ago. I think maybe it's when we got on Warren Buffett, but we were talking about, in the event of a death and a will, and Hulk Hogan's estate is going through that right now.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it's becoming a very, very nasty one.
Yes, but it has to be. These things are accounted for. They're all written down. There's laws somewhere. Nobody knows what those are until it's time to go find out.
See, you mentioned it on one of your clips on Instagram where you said Hulk Hogan in the ring is a completely different person than Hulk Hogan outside of the ring. And I kind of wanted to, you're absolutely right about it, but I wanted to kind of change it up a little bit. It's like Hulk Hogan was different than Terry.
Sure.
Terry was a very, very interesting individual.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And from the scandals to the divorce and the kids, I mean, there was no real, and again, I hate talking about somebody who's no longer here, but it's just that family structure completely disintegrated and fell apart as soon as that divorce took place.
Sure.
And that estate and all that, it was a ticking time bomb. It was bound to explode. Sad. I mean, it's sad. I hope, what's his son's name? Nick, right? Yeah. Nick and the daughter and...
Nick, Brooke, and Linda.
Yeah, Nick, Brooke, and Linda. I hope they...
But don't forget, that was an old school Carney move. Like Hulk and Linda were never splitting. Nick got in a car wreck, a kid died, and Nick was a minor. The Hogans themselves were going to get sued. So Hulk and Linda devised a scheme to get divorced as a way of splitting assets. They worked that. That was no different than any pro wrestling angle. And then they forgot. They forgot that it was an angle. She starts banging some younger guy. He starts tagging one of Brooke's friends, and I think went on and married her. That's called working yourself into a shoot. They never meant to get divorced. Eventually, over time, we all are whoever we pretend to be. And with professional wrestlers, that is very difficult. They play this character. They never come out of the character. When they go home, people call him Hulk Hogan. They don't call him Terry. When I was introduced to him, I was not introduced to Terry. I was introduced to, this is Hulk. And I'm only sharing for you. They set that whole thing up as a plea to get around some legalities. And then over time, forgot. And now they really hate each other and are divorced. So the work never ends, and the shoot is the new work, and the great ones take it to the grave. And he was a great one.
He was. We ran into him at Mar-a-Lago,
Did I
And-
just blow your mind with what I just told you? Because
Yeah.
that's 100% accurate.
Absolutely.
He
I
and
feel
Linda
like I
never
want to say
set out to get
allegedly
divorced.
behind all of this.
They set out to
That was
stew the
during when they
government.
had the reality
Yes.
show. Their family had the
Yes.
reality. Oh, I
That was a
remember
good
that.
And they were doing
Yeah.
nothing more than asset protection because this person had died and Nick was
Mm.
under 18. Nothing more than asset protection. And they both forgot. So she
Wow.
started living the gimmick a little too far, and all of a sudden she's got a 26-year-old sizing her up, and all of a sudden he's doing the same thing with one of Brooke's friends, and they're like forgot and actually got divorced.
Yeah,
that
but
was
I mean,
never the plan.
I know the whole reality show and the accident with Nick and the asset split, all that. I get it. But even when they were married, there were so many stories and
Sure.
scandals going on from Macho Man and the Ultimate
Yeah.
Warrior and all these. It was just, I felt like they were playing the WWE in reality.
Yeah.
And they thought
but
it was.
you don't think part of that
Right.
is so that they're always in the news somehow?
I don't know, man.
I mean, because at one point, if you become a little irrelevant, you're like, shit, we need to come up with something to be in the cover of
But
whatever
see,
magazine.
you look at Chael, and as I mentioned, very charismatic, super high energy,
Good looking,
good,
funny,
El
good
Guapo.
looking, good looking, funny, fit,
good dresser.
straight male, all this stuff. But
But he has a career as a commentator.
exactly,
Because of his
but
charisma.
you can tell from him he knows when to. I don't want to say pull the plug, but tone it down.
Sure.
But there are people where psychologically and mentally, they're just running freaking 24 hours.
Well,
bro.
I feel like it's huge. Like who's at home with you too? If they love
Hulkamania.
that crowd, like the wife or the kid, like
Yeah. It's hard to turn the
you
gimmick
can't
off.
do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It is hard.
Does he ever
It's a
turn it?
drug.
Does he ever turn it off?
oh yeah.
See?
I'm gonna. Well,
she will
yes
tell
and
me
no.
though sometimes.
I go, you need to knock it off.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off, but she'll say that sometimes. Hey, you're not doing a podcast. You're not in an
Yeah.
interview.
But,
or I
but
would love when he
you're-
would
you're
get
not
like
on
a
stage
tweet.
trying
A
to
tweet
become
would pop
governor.
off online. He'd get a whole bunch of like retweet. I go, did somebody tweet you today?
So-
Because you're getting a little
'Cause
mouthy.
She felt like my attitude. She
Yeah,
felt
he'd
like
get-
I get a
he'd
little.
come
He
in
was
home and be
complimented
all right,
somewhere.
Here's what I'm curious about. Does he read tweets out loud to you,
I mean, yeah, you have.
or
before.
articles, or anything like that?
But oh yeah, he has. But I'm so like I don't want any.
Okay.
We could move to a farm and I would have no social media. I'd be
So
happy.
she says.
Because I'm
So
curious.
she
I'm
claims.
curious if it's
I don't know.
Chael reading the articles to you or the tweets out. Like, for example, hey, Brittany, look at this. Look at this article. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Does Chael come out, or is it more of like a, it's my husband, Chael?
No, I mean Chael is always chill. He's loud and this is him.
But he
One-
was
one
reserved
reason-
earlier today, though. Like earlier today, you were
One
kind of
reason that I
quiet.
read her the tweets though is I don't write all my own tweets. So sometimes I'll get one. Like Douglas will send me one that I think is particularly funny.
Yeah.
Like the fact, Jon Jones retired because I ripped his toe off. He walks around with 9 toes, and we're going to sell socks on Amazon, the new 9-toed socks for Jon Jones, and I'm the linear champion. It's like the level of ridiculousness. But sometimes Douglas will send this to me, and it's just like, she's got to hear this.
Was
And
it-
Armando, I didn't mean to cut you off. You said I was being a little reserved earlier, but
we'll get to that. But speaking of comments, this is a comment I was going to ask you about. You mentioned, where did you come up with this? You said when Anderson Silva walks into a room,
yes,
you can hear a rat piss on cotton.
Yes.
What does that mean? And
It's
where did you come
silent.
up
It
with
means
that?
there's no ovation. It means the people don't care. They don't care one way or the other where he's in there. It's silent.
I
When
see.
I come in the room, the rest of that quote is you need earplugs because the people are going crazy. That's him. That's the guy.
But where do you
That's
come
Chael
up with that? Though,
That's
like
the future governor of Oregon.
you can hear a rat piss on cotton.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of that term before?
No, I haven't.
Joe,
I'm
have you?
surprised so many
Yes.
people haven't heard that term before.
But when I come in, oh my goodness, you gotta check your eardrums.
Oh my God. And by the way, you guys think he's being
Chael.
lovey-dovey,
Chael.
rubbing my hand and playing thumb war? He's trying to pick my fingernail polish off.
Are you serious?
I
I'd pay
swear
for
to
that
God.
fingernail
And
polish,
that's what
by
he
the way.
says. He'll pick off my nails and then go
Yeah.
and pay for them.
That's a quirk. Do you ever see where you get a
No.
quirk and you don't have that? What about with your toenails? You
It's
start
called
getting a
OCD.
toenail and then you can't stop. Your legs bent and it's all contorted. That doesn't happen.
The only thing
ingrown
is-
toenails.
Yep.
Yeah, I do that.
The only thing is sometimes like if you're out and there's no floss or anything and you've got like a small piece of meat or something,
Yes.
and it's like, okay, just stop touching it. Just it'll go and you're constantly like that.
By the
That
way,
will annoy the hell out of
Why
me.
do Armenians? Why you guys eat so much onion? They'll bring, you go to an Armenian restaurant, they'll bring you an onion, just an onion.
Yeah.
It's a Balkan / Caucasian / Middle Eastern thing.
And then do you ever eat it like an apple?
No, those are the Balkans.
Okay, you will peel it off and then put it on your bread and your meat and like have it with
we're into the whole sauteing. We do the raw onions, obviously, but we'll chop it up and we'll saute onions and all that stuff. But as far as like having that breakfast where you see those memes where the guy bites into a pepper, a piece of lettuce, and then an onion, and then has like 30 scrambled eggs and stuff. Yeah, those aren't us.
Okay,
we're a little bit more
civilized.
Yeah,
if you were at dinner right now, would you have an onion?
Caramelized, sauteed, yes.
Yeah,
I'm not a raw onion guy.
As part of the meal, not just a plate with an onion on it.
No, what you're referring to is like
garnishment.
it's like they'll bring some mint or some different greens, right? And then they'll have a onion that's cut into 4, 6, whatever pieces.
Yep.
And that's typically if there's any type of meat or cheese, and it's kind of as a
palate cleanser.
I don't think onions.
I don't know.
Cleanse your palate. It helps you with just breaking down the meat or whatever, something heavy you're having. But we don't just take that and just bite into it like if it's an apple or no.
Persian restaurants. That's also
Persians.
very common.
Yes, Persians have it.
Yeah.
Persians are very heavy on spices and onions and garlic and stuff like that. Armenians, majority of the time, it's mostly meat and rice.
Sure.
We're very, especially pork. We do a lot of pork. We do a lot of beef. We do a lot of lamb. We're not into chicken as much, and we're not into fish. Seafood.
Yeah.
We're very simple people.
Sure.
Our insurance companies giving you the runaround. Don't settle for less. Public Assist fights for you, not the insurance companies. To get the maximum payout on your claim, whether it's for fire, water, or property damage, call Public Assist today and tell them the Wise Nut sent you. Get what's rightfully yours. 818-242-0998. 818-242-0998 because you deserve every single dollar.
Are you looking for a place to socialize, network, while having a cigar and a drink at the same time? Well, the Glen Arden is the place for you. If you're interested in becoming a member with the Glen Arden Club, contact the Wise Nuts. We'll connect you to the boys at the Glen Arden, and you could become a member here. Smoke with the Wise Nuts, smoke with a great network, and build your network.
How much do you guys know about the Armenian culture?
I watched the Kardashians.
Yeah.
We don't claim them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And
Yeah,
I spent some time in Istanbul. I spent some time in Turkey, so I know about
Very different.
the
I love
Armenian genocide that
Yeah.
Turkey did, and I used to try to get an apology from a Turkish friend, and he wouldn't give me it. He would not admit that there was a genocide. He would just admit that there was an event, and it used to drive me crazy. I wanted him to say the word genocide.
He said an event took place.
He just kept saying an event took place. An event took place with Turkey and Armenia. I said, no, I want you to say genocide. It was a genocide. I want you to say it. He wouldn't do it. He never cracked.
Really?
Yeah. I spent some time out there in Istanbul. I mean, it was really quite a place, but I wanted to get over to Armenia and I wanted to get to Iran. I know a lot of wrestlers that have been able to go and train in Iran, but I wasn't one of them. I never got there and I never got to Havana. Some guys that I looked up to did a trip to Cuba, but I never got there myself.
You would love Armenia. Armenia is a very,
You would have to go with kids, obviously.
Yeah.
There's a lot
it's
of things
very
to do with
kid-friendly
kids.
country.
Really?
Yeah.
Very kid-friendly country.
Why do you say that? Is there like a Disneyland there?
It's not about the Disney.
Like
It's, you know what it is? When you go to Armenia, I'm going there in September for the first time in 23 years. I haven't been there in 23 years. Armand was there 2 years ago. Joe, were you?
3 years ago.
Yeah, Joe was there as well. But Armenia is basically, it's a very safe haven for children because there's everywhere you go in the capital, there's something to do for kids. And it's just kid friendly. Like you go to a restaurant, there's a section they have for the kids, and all the people there, they'll watch your kids like they're theirs, like as their own children.
Sure, very cool.
It's a very, very kid friendly country. You guys would absolutely love it.
Plus
That's a very cool thing.
The parks are open till 12, 1, 2 a.m. and there's like water fountains or whatever.
And it's very safe.
And the kids, I mean, your kids, maybe your daughter would play. She's 7 in the water fountains, but like you can just sit there, have a cup of coffee or whatever you want, grab a glass of beer, and they can just play in the park with other kids. And there's slides and or some of the parks even have little like roller coaster rides, old school roller coaster rides, where you pay them a couple bucks and they get to ride some of the roller coasters. And these are all open late too.
We talked about the UFC possibly going to Armenia.
Sure.
And it was actually when Benil was here, and we mentioned it because recently the UFC was in Baku, and there's a lot of obviously controversy between Azerbaijan and Armenia currently, especially with the. You would call it I wouldn't even call it a war. A lot of people call it a war, but it was an ethnic cleansing of Armenians that they removed 150,000 Armenians from what's known as Nagorno-Karabakh that we call Artsakh. So 150,000 Armenians were ethnically cleansed from that land, historic land of Armenia. And they basically became refugees. So Armenia and Baku have a lot of back and forth going on. Arman Sarukian, who in our opinion should be the next contender for the lightweight title, we were thinking like, dude, if he was the lightweight champion, would they host something in Baku, having an Armenian there? But Joe actually let us know that they wouldn't even stamp his passport to enter the country.
Wow.
So there's a lot of interesting tension going on between Armenia and its surrounding countries, because we're surrounded by Muslims.
Yeah, I'm quite sure. To stay on the topic of Sarukian, I'm quite sure that he's going to get the next world title fight.
Do you think so?
Yes, I do. And he's in town training for it. He's training with Chimaev right now. Chimaev's going to be fighting in Chicago for the world title. But I mean, he's doing the full training, not just the conditioning. He's wrestling with him. He's striking with him each day. He's going through a full training camp. And it's just not the kind of preparation that you would do during a practice or a workout phase. He's in training, and he's training for something. And I believe it's the world championship.
Do you think the whole Paddy Pibbley going into the ring or into the octagon was all just Paddy trying to flex? Or was it something that was possibly staged by the UFC to see what the reaction might be?
Well, it was definitely close to that. I mean, the reaction was overwhelming. The crowd, this is a very hard fry. There's a very hard egg to unfry. The crowd wants Paddy the Badly against Ilia Topuria. And Sarukian was just sitting there, and it was Dana that stepped in front of it and said that never should have happened. He said that, I went in the back and Rogan saw Paddy and called for Paddy, but that's not what the rankings say. That's not what our plan says. And he told the media, he instructed them, as you're moving forward, imagine that did not happen. If they are a jury, it was struck from the jury's memory. And again, that's where, and they've completely unwound that. Paddy's not doing interviews on it. Ilya's not doing interviews. Everything has come back to Sarukian versus Ilya, and Paddy will have to wait one.
Yeah, because Arman made weight as a backup fighter for that night.
Yes.
And he was obviously in the crowd watching what was taking place. And we talked to Benil about it. We were, in our opinion, you'll know this better than we will. We truly believe that the next fight should be Benil versus Paddy, because Moicano obviously lost,
like
because Moicano lost obviously to Chimaev. Not Chimaev.
Benil.
No. Islam. Yeah, he lost to Makhachev.
So who did Benil win?
So,
Benil just beat Money Moicano.
So Benil and Moicano were supposed to fight. Moicano fought Makhachev, lost to Makhachev when Benil was on a much better win streak. So Paddy and Benil should fight, and the winner of that should fight the winner of Sarukian and Topuria.
That's very interesting. I had not considered Dariush versus Paddy. I had not considered that. I had considered Gaethje versus Paddy.
Gaethje's one foot's out the door at this point. He wants that title fight. And if he doesn't get it, I think he's out.
Yeah, and even Max. I like what you're saying. That solves a lot of problems. If we can get Benny back into the conversation with those top guys, it solves a lot of problems. I like that. I'm gonna run with that idea. I like Benny versus Paddy.
Because Max Holloway right now is holding the BMF belt.
Yes.
The BMF belt, as you mentioned as well, with the whole UFC title, if Ilya beats Max Holloway and holds both belts, the BMF belt becomes nothing at that point. I think the BMF belt is a meme belt. I think it should be a belt where you won it, you have it, you keep it. There's no weight rankings for it. You can't defend it or anything. It's just like this just meme belt. Like Connor should be fighting for, if he'll ever come back, that is, for a BMF title. Other legends should be fighting for a BMF belt. The Nick Diaz's, the Jorge Masvidal's, those guys should be fighting for the BMF belt. Somebody who's not ranked. in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't disagree with that. If we can get Benny to, I didn't know that Benny was even in the conversation with Patty. This is the first time that I've heard that. And Benny does not do a good job of steering those conversations. Benny's career, he'd won 8 in a row. And if I'm wrong, it was 9 in a row. It's impossible to win 8 or 9 in a row and not get a world title fight unless you were really, really colossally bad at media. And it turns out our boy Benny is. So I think that we would serve him well. I will team up with you guys. Let's get the message out there. Let's get him in there with Patty. Winner gets a title shot. I could definitely drink to that. And Benny's got a lot of fans, by the way. I mean, he doesn't manipulate the media and he doesn't quite know how to get the questions at a press conference, but he's slowly and over time, he's got a fan base. They will like that idea, I assure you.
I'm curious. Right now he's ranked number 8.
Sure.
What do you think Patty's at? 6, 7?
Yeah, I think that Patty, I just saw Patty's and I think he was number 6.
So that's a perfect matchup.
Sure.
Because I mean, how many times can we watch Oliveira fight again?
Yeah.
I think it's, or even Holloway.
Yeah. And Max is calling for a fight with Oliveira. I don't know.
Which was weird.
Go. Yeah, that surprised me too. He called it to
Why would you call somebody out who just lost?
Yeah, well, and they had fought before and it would be a rematch and Oliveira beat him the first time. So now we're having the same two guys doing the same thing. We're just doing it from 145 to 155. The whole thing lost me a little bit, which doesn't mean you don't have 2 fan favorites and they could make a match happen. I'm just sharing to your point. I like this idea for parody reasons of getting Benny's name back in that mix, and Benny versus Patty solves a lot of problems.
I think it's because nobody's fought Holloway at 55.
Yep.
Holloway is a lot more meatier at 55. He's a lot more rugged. Because when he fought Dustin, did he fight Poirier at 145 both times?
Yes. No. The second one was at 55.
Okay.
They did one at 45 and one at 55.
Okay. So at 55, he's a little bit more scrappier, I think. There's a little bit more meat on the bone, in my opinion. But
I agree.
Do we have anything else? Did we miss anything?
Any more questions of Brittany? Did you?
Brittany, did we?
Did you want to tell them?
Can you?
Are there any? Is there anything? Is there anything that a story that you could tell us about Chael that'll make the hairs on the back of our neck stand up?
Is there any more talking that you could do about me? Do you want to tell them what a good-looking badass I am, or how debonair? Do you want to tell them? Anything?
She doesn't know where to start.
Yeah, less of
She's about to Anderson Silva you right in the face.
No, you're wonderful. There you go.
Oh, you're
What's
wonderful
for dinner?
too. What is for dinner?
What's for dinner?
That's Ryan is supposed to be handling that, but I think he's gonna. I think we're
Chael,
gonna go to
one more question for you.
Yeah.
Did you really tap with Anderson?
Well, okay. It's a longer question than that. I thought that tapping out
His hand fluttered.
ended a round. I thought it signified the conclusion to a round. I did not know that it brought a end to the contest as a whole. So I was up 4 rounds. It was the 5th round. I gave him the 5th round. It's 4-1. I leave their world champion. And by any reasonable metric, that makes sense. But there's nuances and there's glitches within some of the unified system, particularly one that they used in California. It was the same as telling me you can't use performance enhancers. Performance enhancers are good words. Those are positive words. You put them together, you think that you've done something good. But in California, they say it's against the rules. As though I was supposed to go to the doctor and say, hey, doc, I feel great. Can you bring me down a bit? That's called malpractice if he said yes. Every doctor, if he gives you anything, must be able to argue under the Hippocratic Oath that it makes the person better. But in the state of California, much like saying tapping cost you the whole fight, I never would have done that if I knew it cost the whole fight. I was bringing a conclusion to the 5th round. It was 4 rounds to 1 and new world champion. That's what I thought.
But that's not only in California, though.
It's a weird thing.
You don't think it's also in Nevada and every other state?
There's no way to know for sure. Like, there's nowhere that you can go to find out for sure.
Of course there is.
Where?
There's been thousands of fights and
But who would we
thousands
ask?
of submission wins.
But who would we ask? How would
What do you
we
mean?
know for sure?
Yeah, ChatGPT.
Based on the
whatever was
result.
alive then.
Based on the result.
Nobody-
I remember that fight like it was yesterday. We were sitting down. We were like, hell yeah, that's it. We got a new champion. No more Anderson Silva reign. It's all bullcrap. Chael finally exposed him. And then all of a sudden, the fight's over. And you're just like, no, he didn't tap. He didn't tap. And we were sitting down with the boys. We were watching. We're like, no, bro, he didn't tap. That wasn't a tap. That was him kind of just like trying to smack Anderson, saying like, you know, I'm trying to get you off. Because you were in the perfect position because you cradled up and you were pushing him out from that triangle. And how many seconds were left on the clock?
A spine of sportsmanship by me, a salute, a pat on the back, a job well done, and
Yeah.
they cost me a world
Yeah,
championship.
it cost you a world championship.
Did you see the
Yes.
second one?
Ooh,
Did you see the spinning
what were
back
you
fist?
thinking?
What was that? I think I even yelled that. What was that?
What seriously? What were you thinking? I'm so sorry. I'm not an MMA
He
fighter.
tried
I
to do
love you.
Jon Jones on him.
I love you. And I was like, you are gonna beat the shit out of this guy, and you're gonna prove to everybody. What were you thinking?
That just
Yeah.
shows every fighter's a masochist.
Were you
They
trying to knock him
all
out?
love failure. They all love that, right?
The feeling of failure.
Yeah.
There's something about that.
I
That was
love that.
explained to me in the state of Nevada about gambling.
Yeah.
That you
lose.
feel good to win,
Stronger.
but it's a stronger feel to lose all your money. And
Were you trying to knock him out?
Yeah, I don't know if I was trying to knock him out or close the distance. Or I can't really. I don't know in that exact moment. I don't know what I was thinking. I was
Muscle
enjoying that
memory.
moment though. That was a very special event for me. The weigh-in was special, and the press tour was very special. I never had a fight quite like that.
No, you
Lot of
have
fun.
fought like the best of the best, from old school guys like Fedor,
Jon Jones,
Jones, Anderson Silva, Machida.
Tito Ortiz, Rashad Evans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you fought them all. Who was the toughest as far as like when you were, whether you guys were grappling or just the punch, or were you like, wow, this guy's
The toughest guy was George St. Pierre.
Really?
Of all the fights that I've ever had, I fought George in a basement in LA one time. I guess you would call it practice. It was a training, but I did leave there not understanding that level of MMA existed. I thought I had seen everything and been through everything. And what he presented to me, I did not know there was a level. And then just as an athlete, just the strength that he had, the way that he could move. And then I would up the pace a little bit just to see if I could get over on him. And then he would up it right with me. And we just kept going. And I realized, about his determination and his grit. But of all the guys that I felt, and I left there leaving, wow, he was special. And there were a number of them, in fairness. But the one that I felt was the most special was George.
Stronger than Jon Jones?
He was stronger than Jon Jones. Yeah, Jon had his own strengths. Jon was a very big guy, and Jon understood leverage. Jon stands like 6'4", 6'5", so he could get you in certain positions and generate a lot of power. When I think of George's strength, I'm just talking about if he grabs your wrist, you might get it back from Jon Jones. You'll never get it back from George. Like just that kind of a strength. But George was a real student of the game. He definitely loved the sport more than Jon. He definitely studied it more than Jon. Jon's level of success is hard to explain. I mean, if you were to mimic Jon, you had a child somewhere and you were to look at Jon and copy him, do not expect the same result. You're not going to be able to be that lazy and that unfocused. You're not going to be that addicted to women that aren't yours and drugs that you, whatever the addiction is, you're not going to be able to do that and become champion of the world.
Do you think he'll fight Aspinall?
No.
Never? You think he's done, like he's retired fully?
Well, it's a little bit of a hard question. He will not be offered a fight against anybody else. Is Aspinall going to be around? Is Aspinall as good as people are saying? Can Aspinall go 5 fights undefeated? 5 fights undefeated represents 3 years. That's a long time to not be beaten, particularly in a sport like MMA, from a British guy who's never had a wrestling match. I mean, is Tom as good as they say? Because if somebody knocks him off, there is no offer to Jon. The day of Jon versus Derek Lewis or Jon versus Cyril Gahn or Jon versus Jayden Almeida, like that's not realistic. The other side of the coin, Jon has to fight. Jon does not have very much money. That is a myth. Jon is in this sport for the money. I don't know Jon very well, and I know 5 kids with 3 women that he has, and I'm not looking to speak out of school. These are well-known things on Jon Jones. 5 kids with 3 different women. That's just that I know of, and I don't know him. So you start getting 6, 7, 8 women with 5 and 6 baby mamas. I mean, let's just leave it at 5 and 3. A man cannot retire. A man cannot go retire at 36 years old if you've got 5 different children with 3 different moms. So no, Jon has never made walk-away money. Not even remotely close to walk-away money.
I just hope he's not playing this little chess match with the UFC, waiting to see, because Cyril Gahn is fighting Aspinall.
Yes.
If Gahn beats Aspinall,
it's a wrap on.
That's it. It's done. It's like, okay, Jones toyed with Gahn.
Yes.
And if Gone beats Aspinall, that conversation's over.
The only thing keeping the conversation alive is Tom and victory. As long as Tom keeps winning, that conversation at least exists.
I agree.
Soon as, and that's my other question. And I really like Tom, and I wish him well. But I'm just, is Tom as good as we're told? Can Tom run through all these guys? Nobody else has ever been able to. If Tom gets beat, that page on Jon Jones, that book comes crashing down.
And we haven't seen Tom perform as many fights as we've seen the Joneses, the Alex Pereas, all these guys.
Sure.
He's still somewhat of I would call him a rookie.
Yeah. By the way, Pierre is going to be a heavyweight soon, I believe.
You think so?
Yes, I do.
You're telling me he's going to go from 185 to 205 to 205 plus?
Yeah. He currently weighs 246 according to his own Instagram. But I would tune in for that. A shot at champ status, which has never been done. Just that feature alone, I find to be compelling.
Yeah. He's one hell of a fighter, and it's one of those fights where you don't want to blink or it's over.
Yep.
It's very, very, but he'll never make 185 ever again.
Remember when you asked me what I liked about her?
Yes.
It's like you didn't have eyes. It was like you didn't look down just a little bit.
Oh, jeez.
You old dog.
You're killing us.
Chael's a sailor.
One more question. One last question. We'll wrap this up.
What is it?
LeBron James.
What is it? Get it off your
LeBron
chest.
James.
What is it that you're just dying to know?
LeBron James.
Go ahead.
LeBron
Ask
James.
me anything.
LeBron James.
Nothing off limits.
LeBron James.
I don't want to talk about it.
All right. That's it.
LeBron James, here's the deal with LeBron James. And it's not a huge deal. It's a small deal. But you also cannot teach a kid to go and be like LeBron James. He is juiced out of his mind. He makes Chael Sonnen look clean. He's got a higher concentrate than Tropicana. I don't have a problem with it. What I have a problem with is lying about it. What I have a problem with is the same problem I had with Lance Armstrong. If you're onto something, and you know that it makes you better at your job, it makes you feel better, it makes you bigger, stronger, faster, if that's the kind of thing that you're into, it's incumbent on you to share that with other people. That's how other people get knowledgeable and get better, when somebody that they look up to tells them. And I don't know why he wouldn't do that.
I feel like that's the dumbest thing ever. Why would you do that?
Legal. I'll tell you why. Testosterone, legal. EPO, legal. That's the diet that he's on. That's the diet that got him to 40 years old and still in the league. All three, under the care of a doctor, are legal. He's got nothing to hide about, but he chooses to, and that does annoy me.
There you go. That's.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you are exposing the bullshit behind this guy.
Sure.
Because at 40 years old, there's no way an athlete should look the way he looks and perform the way he performs.
Yeah, the Rock by just seems to be a wonderful guy, and he was certainly very, very sweet to me. But I it's the same thing. Hey, Rock, growth hormone and testosterone, of which you have coming out of your pores, are legal.
Yeah,
you got those legal through a doctor. There's no reason to deny that to people. And, you know, I grew up, I was a Hulkamaniac, and I said my prayer and took my vitamins, and I lifted weights every day, and I stared at a poster of the Hulk, and I tried to rip my shirt off in the whole bit. And I really do feel he could have saved me a lot of time if he would have just said, oh, and by the way, I had enough respect for my career to put a needle in my ass every now and then. I feel like that was information that I was owed. And I don't feel like it served anybody to dupe the world of. I'm not going to respect. I had people ask me, no, you were cheating your whole career. If you don't respect your career enough to cheat, just get
That's what I'm saying. So why would you go around and tell everybody your recipe? If I have a blue ribbon pie, I'm not going to go tell everybody.
Sweetie.
Well,
it's not the real one.
You see what I'm saying, right, you guys? You get what I'm saying?
Well, do you see a lot of testosterone, EPO, and growth in our refrigerator at home? We live together. Or do you understand that I'm not giving the real recipe?
Oh. Well, you didn't tell me.
He looks great for 46.
So 848.
Pretty good. Honestly,
48?
pretty good. Yeah.
He looks 40. What?
48.
48.
Yeah.
Did you know he's trying to get me to do another round of kids? He said, oh, come on, we just have to have 2 more.
You're young enough. And great people should have more children.
Thank you, my G. That was nice of you.
2 more. 2
Should
more
consider
kids.
listen, if you can afford it and you're great people, which you are, I think you should bring more great humans into this world.
It really was.
You guys
growth
have great
hormone,
morals,
testosterone.
great values,
EPO.
great principles. Just have, and this is, look, when we met at Mar-a-Lago, there was a reason why we wanted both of you on. We could have been like, oh, you're Chael's wife? Nice to meet you. So Chael, when can you come to California? No, we're like, dude, I think we should have both of them
That
on.
was very sweet. This
very
is our
nice.
first invite where we got to come together. Yeah, that was very sweet.
we appreciate you both taking time to
And
to
when
join
you get
us.
Newsom, you'll say, "Can Chael come?" You'll at least ask.
No, we're gonna exchange
All right.
information. We really, I think it would be phenomenal to
But
have.
when you get him, you'll say, "Can Chael come?"
Or-
Even if
or-
he says no, but you'll say, "Can
or we
Chael
could,
come?"
or we could say surprise.
We'll just surprise them.
Surprise. Oh,
I like that idea.
Yeah.
That's called an ambush.
We'll say we have an old friend who misses you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Old friend. I
Ye-
like that.
Yeah, he wants some input on how he can win the governorship. And
Yes. Yes.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But tell him, like, hey, my friend, he's actually willing to work. He's actually willing to do this. Like, is there a spot for him? Is there a spot for a good-looking, hardworking badass? Because we've never seen one in your field, but is there?
The great part of it is he's gonna be. He will be terrified to say anything stupid because he knows you can beat his ass.
Oh, God. Reach over and choke him. Put his security up.
Oh, jeez.
Do you see how exhausting life is? Like, you never know. He comes home with things, and I'm just like, of course you did.
But it's the great part of it was when we, like I said, when we met you guys at Mar-a-Lago, and I don't know if you remember, but there were times where we were just sitting down waiting for, Uncle Trump, and Chael just walks over, sits down, and like starts shooting the shit with us. Michael Chandler did the same thing as well, and we were like, dude,
Great
like,
guy.
yeah, we were like, dude, these guys are like, they're really, really. There's no bullshit. It's like it's genuine, and we really, really appreciate
Well, thank
that.
you.
It's
Well, that's
we want
mutual.
people to know that you know what. Don't be afraid. Listen, don't go running up to them and going picture, 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 picture. But at least they're amazing individuals to have a conversation with.
Well,
And
that was mutual. You guys were very sweet to us, too. I'm glad that you had that experience, so thank you.
we're glad you guys took time out of your very, very busy schedule to fly out to California
I
and
can tell.
sit down with us.
No, I can tell. A lot of people say that. They say thank you for coming. They say it was an honor. They say, but you really mean it, and I can tell. And for that, you are welcome.
Appreciate it. Maybe one day we'll come out to Oregon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
perhaps.
anytime. West London.
Beautiful. Thank you both again very, very much. Guys, today's episode will be up and running on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all major platforms mañana.
Where else would it be?
Oh,
That's the only place in the world that covers these things. Did you say iTunes? You say YouTube? You say wherever you could find this?
wherever you could find us.
Who
Wherever.
cares where it's at as long as they get it?
You
though,
give me a
right?
good sales pitch then.
Well, okay. Hey, guys, I appreciate you listening. Here's your hat. What's your hurry? And by the way, I've entertained you. You didn't do anything for us. We didn't charge you. We set up the camera. So have a little appreciation. Tell a friend, or on second thought, shove it up your ass.
We will see you guys next week. Mwah.